10:02. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs Studios. I am Robert Walsh. Robert Saleh's introductory press conference was yesterday, where he met and answered questions from the media. Even had a number of Titans players there. He was asked what he learned from his failures with the Jets and what he would do differently here in Tennessee. Here's what he had to say.
I didn't call plays in New York, and I just kind of gave it all to the coordinators, even though we were still part of the game planning and all that. I joke with Borgo on game day when I didn't call plays. I felt like I was just a timeout and red flag guy. I was just kind of I had the greatest seat in the house as a fan. So calling plays for me, it's not necessarily about control, but it's about connecting with the players.
Saleh was also in studio with 3HL yesterday. If you missed that, you can listen to the interview wherever you get your podcast or watch it on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube page. Some news from around the league. The Atlanta Falcons hired former Chicago Bears assistant general manager Ian Cunningham as their new general manager, the team announced Thursday night. Cunningham joins the president of football, Matt Ryan, and coach Kevin Stefanski, both also hired this month in Atlanta, which hasn't been to the playoffs or had a winning record since 2017. The Eagles also found their offensive coordinator in Sean Mannion. The team announced yesterday Mannion, who has coached for just 2 years, breaking in as an offensive assistant for the Green Bay Packers in 2024 before being promoted to quarterbacks coach this past season. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Good morning. Welcome in on this Friday. Hope you're feeling a little less frosty than you have been all week long. You finally got the announcement, the introductory press conference to see Robert Saleh and his party of 10, including the 8 Saleh children in attendance at yesterday's press conference. We are basically going to spend the day dissecting those 40 minutes and some additional time that I spent and select media spent with Robert Saleh, both before and after the press conference, which is why, for those of you vultures that were on my neck about leaving the show at 11 o'clock for a 2 p.m. press conference, yes, I saw your tweets. Yes, I saw your DMs. Calm down, all right? I don't have to tell you everything that I'm doing on a regular basis. It's like, if I was dating anybody currently, I imagine it would be like a nagging significant other, this audience, from time to time. Good morning, Robert.
Good morning. I feel like we missed a great opportunity yesterday. To send me instead of sending you.
Do you know that to which thing? The press conference itself, the off-the-record lunch that the Titans were kind enough to hold for us with Saleh and Borgonzi and Brinker and Burke-Nihill and a couple other people.
The off-the-record lunch is what I would have gone to. And the one thing that I want to know, the one question that's on everyone's mind, what was served?
Oh, everything. The two of you.
Oh, no, don't do that.
The two of you would have died. I'm pretty sure I saw Teresa Walker come back from the line with a steak.
Stop it.
What
cut?
I wasn't sure. It looked to be either a ribeye or a T-bone.
A T-bone for Queen T.
A T-bone for Queen T.
That would have been exceptional. So the food was good. Okay, what was the lunch conversation?
Well, that's off the record.
You guys didn't talk about any of the happenings, the snow, his opinion on cold weather,
We talked about a great many things that I will not share with you.
Has he been to Broadway yet? Could we convince him to go to Robert's Western World to get the recession special?
You want to take the new Titans coach out on Broadway, get him drunk, and give him a bologna sandwich? Is that what you want?
Yes, I would love to give him a tour, basically like a pedal tavern, but it's us. We are the ones. I would drive the rickshaw. I would drive the bike rickshaw.
You should send this. You should send this idea to the Titans because maybe I don't have to be involved. Maybe it's just you and Lucas.
Oh, that would be great. That would be killer.
We used to do regular pedal taverns. Well, not we, but before I started working here, because Midday invited me to go to at least one with them before we replaced them. Or before they left, and then we filled in the slot, however you want to categorize it. they used to do regular pedal tavern like trips, like maybe a monthly thing with listeners. So just because the Nashville Pedal Tavern thing is like right across the street. So everybody would meet at Tin Roof. You would pregame, then you would walk down the street, down to Mumbry into the Nashville Pedal Tavern. You would get on the thing. Kaharski used to have this big rehearsed speech about how bad John Rich sucks because they were neighbors at one point in time as they went past his, what's his bar called?
Redneck Riviera.
Yeah, sure it is.
He came peddling tequila one time. He was very nice to me. One of the only people I've ever gotten to interview in my career.
John Rich?
Yes, he was exceptional. Did you know he let his grandmother taste test his whiskey or tequila or whatever spirit he was peddling at that time?
I'm unfamiliar with anything John Rich related that doesn't also include Big.
I will have to find my interview with him. I'm sure it's saved in my Google Drive somewhere. But either way, I think it would be a lot of fun to take him. But he doesn't seem like a Broadway guy to me. He seems like a Printer's Alley. Like go to a dark, seedy beach boogie bar and blues bourbon. I never know what that.
He
place
used to
called.
work in finance before he got into coaching.
Shut
so
up.
I wouldn't say Printer's Alley. I'd say the bar at Kane Prime.
Oh, so the places that you would frequent.
Absolutely.
What's the place with the burlesque show that you love?
Not only do we have Middle Eastern heritage in common, me and your new football, not your football coach, but the audience's football coach.
He can be my football coach too. Adjacently.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You're a bandwagon
I don't
Titans
hate the
fan?
Titans. I like when they do things.
What? You're a Ravens fan.
I harbor no ill will. I don't understand.
Well, you don't have to. They haven't done anything in God knows how long.
Well, be that as it may, I still don't harbor any ill will. I hope they succeed.
Well, you can be the Indiana fan version of or Titans fan version of my Indiana fandom.
Okay.
If they get good, you can be a Titans fan. So yeah, the Titans PR was really good to set us up with, basically a get to know you. Like instead of us just all peppering him after the press conference when he's trying to take a bunch of pictures and do a bunch of different TV interviews and all these different things. They were kind enough to set that up for us before the press conference took place. Then we did the press conference, which of course all of you saw. Although I will get to something, and maybe if you watched Primetime last night with Robert and me, you may have heard a little bit of this spiel, or if you read what I wrote after the press conference on A2ZSports.com, which you are always welcome to do, where all manner of great Titans coverage exists. You may have heard what my biggest takeaway was, because I imagine it's very different from the vast majority of you. We will get to that later in the show. But we did the press conference there at 2 o'clock, lasted about 40 minutes, and then they took, I want to say it was 8 of us, like the people that are there every day, that travel with the team. Not, like on the team plane or anything like that, but like that go to every game, that are at every event, that do all these different things, that are the daily attendance people. So me, Kaharski, Tehran, Teresa, Nick Suss, Gentry, Terry.
This isn't off the record? Are you allowed?
This was not off the record.
Are you allowed to divulge the people that were at the meeting with him that is off the record?
Oh, I don't. But it wasn't an off-the-record meeting, so why would I?
Well, you told us that Teresa was at the off-the-record, so you, in turn, did share something that was supposed to be off the record that we now know.
Oh, that Teresa ate a steak?
Yes. I hope they don't invite you again and they extend that invitation to moi.
I think they've been looking for reasons to uninvite me for years. Too bad. Can't get rid of me yet. You know how many people came up to me yesterday and asked me if Chuck was going to be at the press conference? You know how annoying that is?
Chuck!
I mean, and I'm not talking to like the janitor or something like that, not to diminish the janitorial staff, the wonderful janitorial staff at Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park. I'm
because
talking
they
about
do listen.
Well, sure. Everybody listens.
Apparently.
Everybody listens.
If everyone's asking if Chuck
Everybody asking about damn Chuck.
Are we going to
showing up to the press conference. Super annoying. No, you don't get Chuck today, especially because you asked. All right? Because you asked for me to be nice? No. Now I'm going in with a bad attitude.
Well, I like that you said that. It's like, no, now that you asked, you don't get it. So you were contemplating bringing Chuck to the press conference.
And Chuck is always with me.
Just a little bit.
You ever seen a Grinch where they hold up the X-ray, but it's not an X-ray, right? Because you can see a heart. So what is that technically?
It's a cartoon, dude. It's a
whatever. Let me not read too much into it. But they hold up the X-ray to the Grinch. It shows that shriveled little heart. That shriveled little heart is Chuck.
Yeah, he is in the smallest cockle in the smallest chamber in your heart, the smallest chamber.
Yes, speaking of chamber, Lucas also has soccer media obligations for the first, he said he'd be here at the noon hour?
Yeah, before the noon hour. You will get your daily dose of Lucas. Don't you worry.
Okay, so Lucas will be here. Don't worry. You're not stuck with me all day. And Lucas also showed up at the press conference. I even had a PR staffer ask me if you were coming to the press conference.
That means I'm allowed.
I said no.
Does that mean I'm allowed? Do I have to get credentialed?
Why would you even ask me? I mean, clearly they know who you are.
How do I do that? I want to go.
I'm not telling you. I don't want to take you to work with me more than I already do.
Do I have to submit something?
Yes.
Do I just tweet at them?
Yes.
Okay, so I need to tweet at the Titans.
Well, they're tweeting at you, superstar.
I know.
Ratioed the holy hell out of you the other day.
They did, dude. It took like 30 minutes for their tweet to get more likes than my tweet had. It was a Chuck tweet. That's how they know. It was a Chuck tweet. Yeah. Today is a good day, dude. If you don't feel the energy coursing through your body today, new head coach. We got stuff to talk about. This feels good.
Everybody told me they're going to win 9 games now just because he gave a press conference that basically sounded like every press conference I've ever heard in my life. Now, I'm not here to urinate on your press conference, but I do think there's a couple of things that are worth talking about, and we will work our way through those things today. We've got a bunch of different clips from the press conference, of course, and some stuff that you would not have been able to see that I'm sure you've seen discussions of online. But a very important thing that stood out to me yesterday about this particular press conference that is different than any other press conference I've done in the last 10 years. Okay, this is my 10th season. No wonder I'm just a little bitter and curmudgeon-y.
Geezer.
I'm not even 33 yet. I've done 10 years of Titans football.
Hey, you know how many Titans games I've seen?
No,
that's what you sound like.
I like having a beard, but I kind of hate growing out the beard because I don't know. Can you see the grays on camera?
Oh my God, they're prevalent.
Can you? I mean, it's.
Dude, you're gonna have to start just for men, and that looks awful.
No, I'm not gonna Ryan Day or Ian Rappaport my way through.
I'm gonna Joe Hunk your beard off here.
Hunk dyed his beard.
He did. He always did. He always did.
So not only is his voice fake, but his beard is fake?
Oh, we don't do that. We love the hunkster.
Well, sure, he's a lovely human being, but like Joseph's voice, it just makes me want to kind of like grab him by the shoulders and shake him and be like, you don't talk like that.
That's one of my favorite days at training camp ever, was we were out at training camp with Kirby, and Hunk rolls up and he goes, oh my God, Hunk, why'd you dye your beard? He just screams it from the ether to let everyone know. Kirby has no filter whatsoever.
Which, of course, is why we love him. No, are you kidding me? You know how the opportunity for me to lean more into my vanity? I'm not dyeing my grays. The silver fox look it's a good look.
You just better get there quick.
Rude.
Nobody likes the stragglers hanging around there.
I found one on my chest the other day. I'm like, I'm not ready for that. 615-737-1045 is the number. We've got headlines.
We got headlines.
We'll do them next.
Coaches being introduced, coaches yet to be hired. Things are happening all around the league, and that's why we've got NFL headlines with me. I'm Bert.
Go on.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I don't have to do this usually. So I think we'll start on home base. Robert Saleh introduced to the Titans media, contingent of the media, some players there as well, as Buck noted earlier, and a number of things to talk about. But one of the things that I found more interesting than many of the comments that Saleh made were the comments that Mike Borgonzi made. Noted a number of things about the process, and this quote here from Borgonzi, or as Saleh calls him, Borgo. Are you a fan of all the nicknames? He was throwing nicknames out like crazy.
No.
I think we should just start calling him Borgo.
Okay, I'm never going to do that. You can do that if you want to.
Ergo, we will do that. Ergo, Borgo. Mike Borgonzi was asked about what in the interview process made it clear that Robert Saleh was the guy, and he had this to say.
Yeah, I mean, like Rob was saying, he did a lot of research on us, and we did a lot of research on you too, by the way. But a lot of the research that we did on Robert from the places he's been was everything that we were looking for. When I laid out those leadership qualities, the people that we talked to, he exemplified all of it. I mean, we called coaches, we called scouts, we called players that he had coached before. And so then when we had the opportunity to bring him in, you could feel his leadership as soon as he walked in. Robert has a presence about him. And then he was very thoughtful in everything that he laid out, from the off-season program to training camp, the way he was going to do practices. He's very in tuned in the weight room as well, as you can see. He had a plan for everything. Player development was a big part of it. And that was one thing that we heard over and over again. He can develop players. Going through his plan for player development and things he does with the coaches to develop his players. Obviously, the scheme that he's run. I mean, he's a high football IQ. And then really the biggest thing was the person, too. You know, every person we called, Robert is a great human being. So when he talks about people, we want great people here. And that's a big part of it.
Wow, what an excellent question that was posed by an upstanding member of the media.
Who would that have been?
Me.
Oh, it was a terrible question.
This is as long as Mike Borgonzi's ever talked about anything. So I asked that question because Saleh brought up the idea that he had been interested, or he was asked. I can't remember how it came up, actually. I'm sure another fine, upstanding member of the media asked him about it. But Saleh had been interested in the job for a long time. Robert, did I tell you the first time I got a text about Robert Saleh being interested in the Titans?
Is this the text that you referred to on primetime? He's like, oh, I can't read this.
No. That was about the off-the-record lunch.
Oh, okay. Well, no, I don't think you ever shared that with me. And now we're not friends anymore.
Anymore?
Yes. Back to being acquaintances.
That's cute. The first time I got a text about Robert Saleh wanting the Titans job was September 29th. So the NFL season had essentially just begun. I don't think we had played 4 games by the 29th yet. And Robert Saleh was already messaging to people privately, at least as far as I know, and it may have even been before that he was interested, that he wanted specifically the Titans job. Brian Callahan wasn't fired till like the 16th. So apparently enough people were like, yeah, my guy, great guy, Brian Callahan, dead man walking. So at some point, and maybe even going into his season with the 49ers, he was probably thinking about his next head coaching opportunity. And to his credit, some people might say, well, that's a distraction. Him being asked about head coaching opportunities. Did a pretty damn good job for the rest of the season the way through, despite clearly preparing for another head coaching opportunity.
And if you'll remember, I can't remember when we had Fitz on, but Fitz noted that he was offered the head coaching job, or the head coach in waiting position with the Raiders.
Yeah.
And he turned that down to go back to the 49ers to plot and ever to get a separate head coaching job. So it seems like he was interested in more than just the Titans for a minute. He was interested in not waiting for one, at least, not waiting for somebody to be like, oh, yeah, you can have this job whenever this geezer's dead.
Somebody asked whose phone was that going off in the press conference in the background. It was one of the members of his family. I think it might have been his dad or maybe one of his kids. Again, there are 8. They were so well behaved. Nobody on this show has children. Lucas doesn't have kids. Robert doesn't have kids. I don't have kids. We are all cat dads. So none of us knows what it is to actually manage children. Well, you have like nieces. Do you have a nephew?
Yes.
Just the one?
Oh, yeah.
Isn't he a bit of a domestic terrorist?
A tyrant. Oh, yeah, he is awful. Favorite words are punch and fat. I'm going to punch you. I'm going to punch you. Well, do it then, you little brat. And then you got to show a little kid what's what. I'm not about to get my ass beat by no 4-year-old. So if you want to duke it out here in the front yard, we can do that, Cooper.
Anyway. So I have no experience with children other than I am very uncomfortable around them and I don't know how to talk to them. But what Robert Saleh's wife seems to be the one who runs the operation there, because to be able to manage that as effectively and as efficiently as she did throughout the course of a very long day, where I think his oldest is 15 and his youngest is 10 months. So Saleh family, very, very big on procreation at this point in time. Somebody asks in the chat, do I want kids? Absolutely not. Not, maybe I'm not definitive about anything in life, but yeah, I'm good. I'd rather waste my money on me than some little ungrateful brat. Anyway, so his research on the Titans started basically before we had seen Cam Ward play a month worth of football. He was interested in this job. Mike Borgonzi echoing the sentiments of the amount of research that they did on him, and so much so that they were comfortable skipping the initial interview. They were allowed to do 3 hours maximum on Zoom with as many candidates as they could fit into their schedule. I think they had scheduled 19. I don't think they got to all of them, including Harbaugh, obviously. They bypassed the 3-hour maximum Zoom that they could have had with him to go straight to the second interview, which was essentially Saleh's first, because they were so confident in their research on him and his research on them. And obviously, it ended up being a fit, at least at the onset. We'll see what happens with Robert Saleh's career as the Titans head coach down the road. But I think the biggest thing for me is that's as comfortable, at least from that portion of the press conference, because we'll obviously talk about the plan for Cam Ward and, his, what was it, violent and fast or whatever the catchphrase is this time around that people were getting their rocks off to yesterday. How much more comfortable in that setting Mike Borgonzi looked than he has in basically every other setting that he's been in the last calendar year that he's been running this show, running this operation, and now truly running the operation. So that marriage between the two of them is obviously something that we're going to document at length, but got off to a good start yesterday. Do you put much stock in winning the press conference? Because Titans fans immediately fell in love with him, and I understand. He looks like a coach out of Central Casting. Like, you could not come up with a better, I don't want to say a better looking situation because Cliff Kingsbury exists, but like, he looks like he was cast in a movie to play a football coach. He's tall, dark, handsome, which is a tough thing to pull off at bald, to his credit, and, talks a certain way, has a certain command about him, seems very at ease while doing it, but you can see that, if you watch him at all on the sidelines, he's clearly an insane person, like all the rest of these coaches. So, Mike Borgonzi and he will be an interesting duo to kind of keep an eye on as we work our way through this thing. What else you got?
So, while one coach was announced, another one still being held in the realm of possibility for the Raiders, as we got an update on where things stand with the Raider from Jordan Schultz. I'll read a number of these and then get your opinion on it. So they'll meet with Seattle Seahawks offensive coordinator Clint Kubiak this weekend. Davis Webb has pulled his name out of the running. So he was up for the Eagles, Bills, Broncos, Ravens, offensive coordinator job. If he did not get a head coaching job, it seems that he will have his pick of the litter between those four. The Eagles have named their offensive coordinator, who Zach was very excited to tell you, Sean Mannion.
That is a longer running joke, I think, even than the Malcolm Butler IR stuff, which you're probably not even familiar with. That predates you.
That's everyone just hitting you up every single day to ask you, Malcolm Butler, when's he coming off IR, right? So
It's really not that clever of a joke. It's been going on for 100 years.
That's how most bits go. Raiders general manager John Spytek was in Denver when the Broncos won the Super Bowl with Gary Kubiak, Clint's father, as the head coach, so he has intimate knowledge of the prospect. Tom Brady's last two Fox games were Seattle Seahawks games, giving him an up-close personal look at Kubiak's offenses. And a major emphasis in this search for the Raiders isn't just getting a head coach hire right, but getting a clear, aligned vision for the entire coaching staff after what the organization experienced last year, which that was the whole plan, right? They added, his name is escaping me, Raiders head coach last year, former Seahawks head coach.
Pete Carroll?
Pete Carroll. The whole reason they added Pete Carroll was to bring some stability. It blew up in their face. They're trying to avoid that this year. Kubiak is believed to be the favorite, though there is no final determination that has been made. It is also unclear whether Kubiak would fully take the job, as he's been with 5 different teams in 5 different years and is currently enjoying his most success. Before all this, the Raiders had very strong interest in Jesse Minter, who had Michigan ties, but he chose Baltimore. So now it looks like DeBell of DeBall is Clint Kubiak. And if he decides to stay home with his ball, the Raiders will be out in the rain. How do you feel?
Brady going to coach the team?
Damn it. Hand me that headset.
Remember what Fitzy said? Brady didn't like any of the candidates. Or didn't like, that's a little extreme. Brady was very unimpressed with the candidates that they had talked to. And Fitzy didn't name specifically Kubiak, but just based off talking to people who are going through this process or people who are reporting on various jobs nationally, it doesn't seem like he's a super dynamic personality as far as the interview process would go. Like, obviously, he's skilled at what he does, but so is Josh McDaniels, right? Not somebody that you want leader of men type. Mike McDaniel is one of these, he's fun, but he's not necessarily somebody that you would look at and say, leader of men type. That's CEO. He takes it too lightly. So there's all different variations of what people imagine in their head. Central casting, right? What is an NFL head coach supposed to look like, sound like, feel like? Brady only has the 2, right? Well, no. Didn't he have Bowles for a little bit? Beyond Arians?
I believe that's correct.
Okay, so 3. He had 3 head coaches, Belichick, Arians, and Bowles in his last couple of years with the Raiders.
But Bowles aside,
Bucks, I meant.
with Arians and
Did you just pick your nose on camera?
No, I scratched my mustache. You can go back and watch it. It's recorded. What are you worried about it? Would that bother you if I just pick my nose, just shove it right up in there?
I mean, it is disgusting. Yes.
Well, okay. Well, when you're noting Arians and Belichick, both of those coaches are kind of the same ilk.
All right, the video has acquitted you.
Yes, thank you. Well, I did pick it right after that, so if you're watching on a delay, you'll see me pick it in a moment. Both of those players are coaches are from the same ilk, right? A strong fist, lead with out of fear and respect. And maybe Bowles, I'm not super familiar with his coaching style, but maybe that is the kind of coach that Tom Brady would like to go to, because that's where his experience is. I don't necessarily know who in the chat is making you giggle right now, but I need your attention, buddy.
Oh, I'm listening, please, as if I don't multitask. I'm so much better at multitasking than Lucas, by a mile.
If they do not go with Clint, then who?
I'm laughing at a comment who said, Pete Carroll, come back, baby girl.
Well, come on, baby. Don't you want to come back? I'm kind of surprised no one's like, Sean McDermott's not tickling anybody's fancy? Look what he did to the Bills.
He's stepping back. I think he's just like, this is a mess. I'm good.
I would.
Can you blame him?
If you're the Raiders at this point and you get caught with your pants down, I would go to his house on horse and buggy, drawing carriages of gold, to say, hey, man, I know what you did in Buffalo. They didn't go to the playoffs since Nam. You turned them around and made them a perennial Super Bowl contender. What is it going to take for you to come do that with us? We have pieces. We're about to have Fernando Mendoza. What is it going to take you to come in here? That would be my take if they were not able to land Clint Kubiak. Have you seen the draft pick conversation that is happening around the hiring of Falcons' new general manager, Ian Cunningham.
No.
So if you're
I saw that Cunningham got hired last night. I didn't pay much attention to. I was drowning in Titan stuff.
If you're unfamiliar with Ian Cunningham, widely thought of as a very smart guy. He was the assistant general manager with the Bears.
Was going to interview here.
Was going to interview here. Served underneath Ozzie Newsome in Baltimore for a number of years. So he has a nice little tree ahead of him. But normally, if you hire someone that is a minority to be your head coach or your general manager, the team that lost him would be awarded 2 compensatory picks at the end of the 3rd round. Compensatory. Guaranteed you will get those picks. But because Ian Cunningham is not the top of the food chain, Matt Ryan has final say on roster decisions. The Bears will not be awarded 2 compensatory picks for losing Ian Cunningham. And Bears fans and draft pick Knicks are pissed.
Are you kidding me?
No, I am not kidding you.
That's garbage.
It is very garbage because something similar to this happened with Ron Rivera, and Ron Rivera not having the top of the line, but he was someone was awarded picks due to a similar situation. I can do some research on that. But if you're a Bears fan, you should be livid because that was the conversation about having Ian Cunningham underneath your current general manager was, as soon as this guy gets signed, we're going to get 2 third-round picks for him anyway. And now that is not the case.
That's brutal. That's absolutely brutal. That's something that the league has to rectify, right? I mean, you can't hurt an organization from that standpoint because think about how many president of football operations there are that have roster control right now. Brinker just gave his over, right? Borgonzi just got that contractually by reshuffling the organization around. Matt Ryan, who replaces Rich McKay, who was there in Atlanta for 100 years. Brandon Beane in Buffalo has roster control and is also, he's the general manager, but he's also the president of football operations. Like, they have to... Man, I guess, do they keep it in place to avoid a situation like Carthon, for example? Because the Niners ended up getting a pick for the Titans hiring Rand Carthon. But then Rand Carthon had final roster say removed from his obligations and kind of came into a situation where he's fighting uphill against, I don't want to say against Vrabel and Cowden, but they shoehorned him in there where he was just deferring to Vrabel and Cowden in a lot of situations. Man, that's a messy. This is why when you start to, I don't want to say that it's a bad idea to have a policy in place to reward organizations who hire minority candidates and offer minority candidates additional opportunities. I think that is on aggregate, a good thing. I'm sure there's a DEI-hating component of the audience that say, it's woke, get it out of here. What? Okay, whatever. Like, it's not that big a deal. It's not hurting you. But I do think that you get into dangerous territory once you start assigning draft pick value to things like this, and then people start shuffling the rules around in real time, like they find some loopholes in this. Because now, if you're the Falcons, you're like, bleep the Bears. What do I care if they get a draft pick for this hire? It's not bothering the Falcons at all. We just got their guy, and they don't get any better for it. As an NFC, it's not a divisional opponent, but as a conference opponent, suck it. I don't care about your draft picks.
So I had the coach wrong. So it was with the Washington football team, but it was when they hired Martin Mayhew as their general manager, who would report to Ron Rivera alongside Marty Herney, and that was back in 2021. They still received extra draft compensation, the 49ers did, for him being hired, even though he was not the top of the food chain. So I think Bears fans warranted in being upset about not getting their compensatory picks. I think we can squeeze one more in here with the Eagles hiring Sean Mannion, who is young and not yet bald. But
Manuary.
Is that his name?
No, that's the whole joke between me and Zach Lyons. That is a joke that goes back to 2015 when they were a podcast that was done out of Zach's office, and I was not working in radio yet.
So they had to go hire a dude who had not yet been an offensive coordinator, just promoted to be quarterback coach last year. It seems like they had to go find a young guy who would be willing to give up a little bit of his power to their legendary offensive line coach, Jeff Stoutland. But they have their man in Philly. I don't know how much optimism this is cause for, but they do have their man.
No, I don't think Philadelphia is happy about settling for anything, because it does feel like he may end up being fine, right? But on the front end, if you're just talking about offseason feel good, nobody loses in the offseason, like the Eagles felt like they were kind of being turned down almost in every instance by quality candidates. Now, they also reportedly didn't offer the job to anybody, right, that was theoretically turning them down. Like the Dable thing came up, and Jeff McClain in Philadelphia reported that the Eagles never offered him officially the offensive coordinator job. So it may look worse optically than it actually is. Philly fans don't care about that. They're probably looking around being like, who the bleep is this bald guy? His hairline.
Well, no. If you look at his Eagles picture, it looks like he went to Turkey. His hairline has been fixed.
Oh, really?
Yes. If you look at his introductory post by the Eagles, welcome your new offensive coordinator, his hair has been repaired by the finest that Istanbul has to offer.
If I had a woman ask me about this the other day, like, would I go to Turkey? Like, I've got a good head of hair. Lucas got a good head of hair. You got a good head of hair. At some point, our hairlines will recede. Mine a little bit in the corners right now. I've already got a widow's peak. It's whatever.
Yeah, mine's starting to. If you want to go to Turkey, you let me know, buddy.
Well,
I'll have hair down to my eyebrows.
She asked me, like, that she would think less of me if I wasn't willing to go to Turkey to get my hair done if it started. Like, she'd be like, you'd get that taken care of, right, if it happened to you? And I was kind of like, yeah, you're probably right, but I don't necessarily, I don't like the tone.
I don't like your tone.
I would, and I would do it with or without you in this particular situation. But like, I don't like the judgment. You're sitting here judging all the balds. They're better looking with hats than they are with not. It's a tough scene. Unless you're Robert Saleh, it's a tough scene to be a bald.
Back to the...
Or V-Love.
V-Love is a great bald. Great bald.
Associate producer of the Buck Rising Show.
Back to the Atlanta GM hire. We've got somebody in the chat, Burning Devil, says, just pick the best person for the job. I hate DEI. This impacts Atlanta zero. Atlanta did hire who they thought was the best person for the job. This would only affect the place that he was hired from, which would be Chicago. It had nothing to do with DEI or them hiring someone to get picks. They get nothing. They get the candidate. So it wasn't they weren't doing it for a DEI hire. That was who they deemed to be the best hire.
Yeah, no. I'm just saying in terms of like, it starts to get muddled a little bit when you start to award draft picks for minority candidate hirings.
If you're curious about that, Jonathan Jones had a great thread on Twitter kind of following the thought behind it and why it's in place and how it can benefit teams and candidates alike, if you're more curious about that. But those are the headlines.
All right, very good. We are not going to do a stat of the day because Lucas is doing some soccer-related media work and will join us in the noon hour. So we will talk about this ridiculous report on the Cleveland head coaching situation and what is being suggested by at least one source to an NFL insider. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Do we still have that Spotify playlist that Lucas put together when he actually still cared about doing the show?
I don't think so. If so, this song should be added to it.
Filled with bangers. George Benson, Give Me the Night. Ooh. Make you shake your shoulders a little bit.
So give me the night. God, it makes me want to go get tore up tonight. That's all it makes me
You want to?
I have so much work to do, dude. I have to be out of my house by Monday, all the way done. And I have the garage to clean. I've got a number of things I need to take to the dump. So I've got to either bust my ass today and get half of it done. I guess I could do that during the day.
Bust your ass today.
And then give me the night.
And then meet me at Mother's.
It is so hard for me to convince Cheyenne to go to Mother's, which maybe might be the plan to do that so I don't have to deal with her tonight, because she alleges that it is a vampire bar.
What do you mean?
It is just dimly lit. It's like everyone that's from like anyone that's a vampire goes to Mother's.
So what kind of vampire does that make me? Because that's my neighborhood bar.
The worst kind. You would be Dracula. You would be Dragula.
Well, maybe she just needs to have better energy when she
Maybe.
goes into a dimly lit bar. Because remember, we took her to that one bar in East Nashville. What's that bar that's in like the strip mall?
Coral
Club.
Yes, Coral Club.
We took her to the Coral Club. Was that my?
That was
most
somebody's
recent birthday?
That was somebody's birthday. Where she ended up falling asleep
It was
outside.
definitely my birthday because she fell asleep, and then I believe she may have gotten sick in the bathroom. I don't want to take out Cheyenne this way. I'm Team Cheyenne perpetually.
She had a tough night. They were flowing, and it got the best of her. And I went outside to retrieve her, and she was asleep on the curb waiting for an Uber that she did not order.
Well,
So-
I just forget that people don't like shots, and I love shots.
Yeah, me too.
Because, it doesn't feel like I'm drinking a lot, and then I'm 17 shots deep. I'm like, hey.
So what do you do? What do I do? My best. Give me a kiss, baby.
Anyway, we do have football to talk about other than our plans this evening. 615-737-1045 is the number. Dan is in Lewisburg.
What's going on, guys?
How are you?
Hey, I'm doing great for this Friday. Hey, I want to start off by saying I am optimistic with our selection on our new coach, the offensive coordinator. I feel better going into the upcoming season this year than I did last year. I think a few smart draft picks, maybe a little free agency, and I think we can start making our name known again in the AFC South. Number two, on the Cleveland Browns situation, I do have a solution, and this concerns Robert. Robert, you probably have not received the letter in the mail yet, but while you're cleaning out your house, Buck and Lucas has arranged it that you will be the new Cleveland Browns coach because you are the last selection choice they have.
Oh, no.
And then in your place, I'm going to come from the country down here in Lewisburg, and I'm going to come to Nashville, and I'll be working with Lucas and Buck David.
That sounds like a good trade, honestly, for me.
For you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would get down with that. Dan, give me your contact info. We'll get you in the system. We'll get you in this sweatshop, and we'll start getting things started.
Wait. Dan,
Hold on. I'm the new head coach of the Browns, Buck. We can't talk about this.
Okay, so you have no power, and you are a supplicant to Jimmy Haslam, which means you're basically in the same role that you are here.
Pretty much.
Dan, you realize that means that you have to work with me on a daily basis.
Oh, man. Well, I just developed a dang headache.
Well, it seems to have given Lucas and Robert drinking problems, so it's a common theme. Thank you for the call.
Be that as it may, whether I'm the head coach or Todd Monken is the head coach, there was a new suggestion. Maybe there's a way we can make that happen. Maybe there's a way we could both be head coaches.
Well, it's your girl. I mean, what do you want me to do with this Josina Anderson report? I like Josina personally. You two seem to hate her.
I I don't hate her. I hate that.
I hate the way she tweets.
I hate the way she tweets, and she does have good information. It is just she delivers it as if she is Shakespeare.
I know you gotta like sift through. Everything that she wants to accomplish in a tweet could be done in like 10 words, and she does it in 750.
Well, it's just like, just give me the info. Or if you don't have anything to give me at that moment, then don't give me anything. There's so many times where it's just like things that are non-information pieces, much like this tweet.
Okay.
So here, I'll give it to you. Josina Anderson, one league source told me, in his opinion, the Browns should do something different. Make Todd Monken and Jim Schwartz co-head coaches to use it.
Assuage.
Oh, thank you. This conundrum.
I should have let you go through with it.
You should have. You
The fact that you hit conundrum afterwards was impressive, honestly.
I love learning new words. Monken, co-head coach of the offense. He wouldn't be co-head coach, but this is what she's saying. Monken, co-head coach of the offense. Schwartz, co-head coach of the defense. Thoughts?
So, like, in theory, this does happen, right? Because Brian Callahan in year one was very much just the coach of the offense. Like, players in their first year exit interviews with him were like, hey, we'd like to see a little bit more of you, like, around the team generally, as opposed to just what you're doing on the offensive side of the ball. Theoretically, that's kind of what's going to go down here, right? Especially if Saleh's calling the plays and working through the installation, as he said he's going to do yesterday. He'll have a defensive coordinator in name for sure, but like he's going to be heavily involved in the defense, leaving Brian Daboll heavily involved in the offense. I mean, hell, in Tennessee, you have three, right? Bones handles the special teams, and everybody's happy. Now, Saleh said he's going to make his way around the entire team. Obviously, he's got experience with this. It's what makes him comfortable doing the play calls. But like actually expecting, imagine approaching Jim Schwartz with this idea, because the reporting around Jim Schwartz is that he was offended by the idea that they basically drug him along through this process just to name Todd Monken the head coach after interviewing him through several rounds to be the Browns head coach, and then said, nah, we're good. Would you work for this guy? And apparently Jim Schwartz is not expected to return to the Browns because he is so offended by the way that the situation played out in Cleveland. The idea of approaching him then, be like, all right, Jim, let's cut a deal. Co-head coach.
Has that ever happened in the NFL?
You guys can sit on either side of a desk in the same office. You guys can compare notes. You can make half as much money as we were going to pay Todd. So you can split the salary of the head coach, split the role, split the baby, however you want to categorize it. What do you think? Come on back to Cleveland, buddy. Eat bleep. Like, it's just the Browns. Every time they can't brown any harder, they brown just a little bit more. It's crazy.
I'd be burnt.
Toast. 615-737-1045. All right, my biggest takeaway from Robert Saleh's press conference coming up next. Nothing worse than a plumbing, HVAC, or electrical emergency. God knows, especially this time of year, with dealing with all the inclement elements. Most of the time, you don't know what it will cost, or if it'll get fixed correctly, or if someone is just trying to sell you something. That's when you call Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical. Their experts, easy for me to say, are going to solve your problems quickly. The price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. There's no hidden fees or surprises on your bill. Hiller has been in business for over 35 years and is family owned and operated. Their techs are professional, experienced, and trustworthy. When they're on their way, you'll receive a photo of the tech and a link to track them in real time. No more wasting time waiting around. 100% satisfaction guaranteed of happy you'll be, or the service is free. That, of course, is the Happy Hiller promise. So book online now at happyhiller.com.
What's going on? 11:02. Good morning from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Down Studios. I am Robert Walsh. Robert Saleh's introductory press conference was yesterday, where he met and answered questions from the media. Even a number of Titans players there, as Buck noted in the first hour. He was asked what he learned from his failures with the Jets and what he would do differently, and had this to say.
I didn't call plays in New York, and I just kind of gave it all to the coordinators, even though we were still part of the game planning and all that. I joke with Borgo on game day when I didn't call plays. I felt like I was just a timeout and red flag guy. I was just kind of I had the greatest seat in the house as a fan. So calling plays for me, it's not necessarily about control, but it's about connecting with the players.
Saleh was also in studio with 3HL yesterday. If you missed it, you can listen to the interview wherever you get your podcast or watch it on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube page. Some news from around the league. The Atlanta Falcons hiring former Chicago Bears assistant general manager Ian Cunningham as their new general manager. Cunningham joins president of football Matt Ryan and head coach Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta, which hasn't made the playoffs or had a winning record since 2017. The Eagles also found their man for the offensive coordinator job in Sean Mannion. Mannion, who has coached the last 2 years, breaking in as an offensive assistant for the Green Bay Packers in 2024 before being promoted to quarterbacks coach this past season. For all your foundation repair and your waterproofing needs, you got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
So Robert Saleh met with the media yesterday. He also met with a great many people that work for the Titans organization as he begins his tenure as the next head coach of this team. There are some things that we are going to get into, and specifically, Robert, I would like to hear from Robert Saleh at some point on his learned experience from his time with the New York Jets. We will get to that in this segment as well, because, of course, that's a topic of conversation. 615-737-1045 is the number. I would like to hear from you as a Titans fan. I hear from plenty of you on social media, God knows. I hear from plenty of you in the YouTube chat, where you are also welcome to submit your comments. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. You can live stream the show via the F&M Bank chat. But what was your biggest takeaway, positive or negative? I don't imagine many of you have negative things to say about Robert Saleh yesterday, but maybe there was something that caught your attention, cause for concern, a question that you didn't necessarily think he answered well enough. And maybe it was just, a great experience, sunshine, rainbows, butterflies the whole way through, right? Maybe there wasn't a single thing that bothered you yesterday about the Robert Saleh press conference. But from a takeaway standpoint, by the way, 615-737-1045 is where you can chime in there. Robert and me are with you for one more hour. Lucas will be here. Nashville SC has a media availability today at the start of the show. Their season is getting ready to begin this coming month. In the month of February, Nashville SC gets back in action. So
I think every Saturday in February you'll have a Nashville SC game to either go to or listen to here on the Zone.
Jesus.
Excited.
That's such a long season for them.
Right. Well, it is. The format is changing. I believe in either next year or the coming year. Lucas would have more information about that. It should be kind of mirroring the football season. So good things on the horizon, but yeah, it is a long haul.
All right, so Robert's already heard me do this spiel because I workshopped it last night on primetime, but I felt that I had a different takeaway, and a lot of people noted this on social media during or after the press conference, but my biggest takeaway from the Titans press conference was that we counted – I cross-checked this with Tehran and Suss and Kaharski yesterday just to make sure that I wasn't over-exaggerating the numbers. Because at a certain point, it looks like there was 20-something players in attendance at this press conference. We got a head count of between 13 and 15 players that attended this press conference. Now, if you are somebody who's never been to one of these things, as I imagine many of you haven't, I have done 10 million of them over the course of the last 10 years. Hell, I've done 5 different kinds of introductory press conferences in just the last 4 seasons alone, right? Carthon, Callahan, Cam, Borgonzi, then Cam, and now yesterday Saleh makes 5 introductory press conferences of note in the last 5 years of this, or 4 years rather, of this franchise. Yesterday was the most players on a Titans roster, and some who are not even under contract with the team, that I've ever seen in attendance at a press conference. And you might say, well, why shouldn't they be at the press conference? So don't they want to hear what the head coach has to say? Fair enough. But it's not very common, and I would venture a guess to say it's not very common anywhere in the league for an introductory press conference for a head coach to be that well attended by players, again, of all shapes and sizes. Jeff Simmons, Cam Ward, Julius Chestnut, Morgan Cox, and Johnny Hecker, who, again, aren't under contract. So you got guys who are free agents, who are not even on this team, sitting in the background of this press conference, locked in, hanging essentially on every word that this head coach has to say. And it was interesting the way that they opened, or that Saleh started the press conference. He did a little joke about, I'm going to channel my inner Mike McDaniel and say I'm not really a big opening statements guy. And he made a couple of comments about being grateful for the opportunity, thanking his family, thanking the organization, thanking the Niners, thanking the Shanahans, all these different things. And then it clearly caught his attention how many damn players were sitting in the back of the room. And he then directed the remainder of those introductory comments at the players in the back of the room. 13 to 15 guys doesn't sound like a ton. It's essentially half the dudes that are under contract in 2026 standing in the back of the press conference room. It, to me, screamed of 2 things. One, the fact that Jeff and Cam in particular were there. You saw guys like Aya Manor, Jackson Slater, Tajay Spears, Femi Oladejo, Kevin Winston, a lot of young dudes, but a lot of vets as well. Scream to me that if Jeff and Cam are, frankly, in the building at all on January 29th, that's an upset. That many players were even in the facility to attend the press conference on January the 29th. After what hell this season was, one would imagine they would want to get as far away from this place as humanly possible just to decompress. No, they're right back to it. So the message immediately gets sent that it's important enough for the 2 most important players on the roster to be here, and the trickle-down effect that has. Leadership from the roster. The other thing that it screams of is, my God, are they so hungry? I used the word desperate last night, and I kind of regretted it, because there is desperation here, and fans certainly are desperate for success. But I don't think that players would push it as far as desperation. I kind of regretted using that word last night when I workshopped this on primetime. But how hungry the guys in this building are, the most important players, or the most important people in the organization, the players are, to find a person, a leader to believe in. That's a huge theme of how, I will use the word desperate in this sense, how desperate they are to have a connection with somebody that they think will elevate their game. That's all they want at the end of the day. And so I mentioned at the top of the show that the format for yesterday was a little different. I left yesterday at 11 o'clock because Titans PR had scheduled an off-the-record get-to-know-you session, a lunch in the team cafeteria with select members of the media and Robert Saleh, his family, Mike Borgonzi, Burke Nihill in attendance, a variety of different people to help introduce us before we, got to the grilling part of it. And it wasn't really a grilling yesterday, just more Q&A, of Robert Saleh's tenure for us to, get comfortable with one another before we start this working relationship. So we did that at 11:30 till about 12:45. We go back upstairs, we hang out, we get some work done. The press conference starts at 2. And as I'm witnessing this, the press conference is a press conference. Like, I've heard a million coaches talk about, taglines and fast and violent or violent and fast, whatever he ended up saying. I get why fans gravitate towards the buzz phrases and stuff like that. I've heard coaches do that kind of stuff before. Vrabel was fast and aggressive or something like that. Callahan was relentless, tough, and intelligent. So all these different things. This is straight out of the introductory press conference playbook. Not to diminish what Robert Saleh said yesterday. I'm just saying I've heard it a million times before. You probably have too. But I got so caught up in just looking around and seeing how many of those dudes were locked in as if Robert Saleh was conducting a team meeting in front of people. So we do that press conference at 2 o'clock, and then Titans PR again selects an even smaller group of us who are daily people who travel to every game, who are basically in attendance for every part of the Titans season, regular season, off season, all of it, right? So there's 7 of us in a room, in a meeting room, elsewhere in the facility with Robert Saleh. And we ask him a handful of questions, some that are more comfortable to be asked in a more private setting like that, as opposed to, hey, the Zach Wilson thing failed. You failed in New York. To do that in front of his family, his parents, his children, that might feel gratuitous. It gave us a good opportunity to have a more honest conversation with him in real time that was not on video, but that was on the record. And so I asked Saleh yesterday about the players in attendance. I've never seen a press conference that well attended, I think, since Brian Arakpo retired in 2018. And that was just dudes that knew Rack, respected him, were still on the roster. Some who weren't on the roster showed up. There were maybe, 5 or 6 of them sitting in the back of the press conference room at the time, the auditorium where we used to do these things. So I asked Robert Saleh about this specifically. I can't use the audio for you, but I'll just read the quote for you. Quote, "I'm grateful. I wouldn't know the past of this building." I had parenthetically Callahan ran, drama around Amy, all this different stuff. "I wouldn't know the past of this building. I'm grateful that those guys showed up. I was messing with a couple of them, asking if they didn't have anything else to do with it being so snowy out. These players, all of them, they want to get somewhere in their career. They want to achieve the pinnacle of what they're capable of. All of them believe they're capable of All-Pro, World Championships, MVPs. It is our job and our obligation, easy for me to say, to do everything for these young men to get them where they need to be, whether it's on the field or off the field. I believe that. Those aren't just words. You'll see me put my money where my mouth is with regards to our staff and how we approach every player. They're the most important people in this organization, and we're going to do everything we can to get them where they needed to be." Now, maybe I don't read that as in the same way that Robert Saleh would say it, but I think it kind of carries the theme. Now, you would hear a lot of coaches say a similar thing, but I don't think it's lost on him. In fact, I know it's not, because we talked about this with him yesterday, that many of them showed up to hear him speak for the first time, to frankly just meet him. I mean, while we were sitting in the cafeteria, like Cam and Tajay are wandering through there, meeting Cam had FaceTimed with him before, obviously, and I'm sure they had seen things about Robert Saleh, knew a little bit about Robert Saleh, but we were witnessing a lot of these dudes meeting him for the first time in person. They so badly need him to step up. There's baggage that comes with him from New York, right? To see the way that Jets fans seized upon Titans press conference stuff yesterday at every turn, almost, and I'm sure there was some level of positivity in there, but for the most part, Jets fans, miserable, unhappy, understandably so. Their organization is a wreck and doesn't look like to be getting any better under Aaron Glenn, God knows. But just burying Saleh because of how badly Jets fans felt it went with the Jets. Robert, I brought this up earlier in the week. One of my producers out of Los Angeles when I do the Fox National show, Ian Roddy, diehard Jets fan, can't stand Saleh. His best record, never made the playoffs, started 4 years in New York, got fired 5 games into his 4th year. They beat the Titans, ironically enough, that year. That was Callahan's first year. Will Levis, what the bleep are you doing? Saleh's best record in New York was 7-10. Here, that would feel like a tremendous victory for them to improve by 4 wins in year 1 under Saleh, but it would also match his best record. He's going to have to show a significant amount of growth in this new opportunity to pay off the kind of desire and want and will and readiness and willingness that his roster is already showing him on day one in that introductory press conference. I thought that was huge, but he's got to pay it off. And that's the unknown, right? Titans fans are optimistic. Titans organization is optimistic. The staff is taking shape in a way that would further support that optimism. But you gotta be drastically different in a couple of different areas that you failed in New York to achieve the kind of potential that you're talking about. And, I'm not doubting what he's saying. I'll put my money where my mouth is in regards to all this stuff. I think I have no reason to doubt that he means it entirely. I think the way that things ended in New York wounded him pretty badly. It's a pride thing, right? For anybody to get fired. Have you ever been fired?
I have. I was fired once when the radio station I was working for flipped formats. So I technically laid off, but I would consider that being fired.
That's shocking. I've never been fired.
We can work on that.
God knows people have tried.
You asked a question earlier in the show, how important is winning the press conference? And I think this was a unique situation to that question because winning the press conference wasn't important for the media or for the fans. It was important that he won the press conference in front of the players that are the leaders of this team, that they bought in day one before any coaching had transpired, before any, this is how you need to work out, this is how you need to run this is how you need to, before any of that happened, he won over those players. And that was the only thing that he had to do that day.
They so badly want to be won over, right? I mean, I didn't hear the full Jeff Simmons conversation with Lawan and Compton on Bussin', but apparently, he was asked the difference. He didn't take out Brian Callahan by any stretch of the imagination, but he noted some pretty significant differences in the way that you went from one person who is accountability in every way, shape, or form, sometimes to extremes, versus the other guy who felt like he turned it on when he needed, tried to turn it on when he needed to, and then came off a bit inauthentic.
And Saleh didn't have to run over Brian Callahan because his team did that after he had been fired when they talked about, oh, yeah, the practices are a little bit better. And, when I believe Jeff Simmons at one point said, Callahan really needs to get a hold of these young guys. His players did that. His players set the standard for how he should be viewed as a head coach.
Oh, sure.
Saleh didn't have to do any of that.
615-737-1045 is how you chime in. Coach Mack will join us in the next segment, but in the meantime, we can take some calls. Steve is in Nashville.
Buck, thank you for taking my call, my friend. It's going to be mighty chilly over there at Geodis Park in February 14th, 21st. But anyway, we'll go wearing shorts together.
I will not.
No?
You have fun.
So here's what it looks like. It looks as if the Titans are – I'm kind of excited. I mean, let them coach a game or two, obviously, and give them some talent. But it looks as if you're going to have an offensive and a defensive staff. Dabble's going to be in charge of the offense, and Saleh's going to be doing the defense. Let's see how this plays out, but I think it's kind of a win-win. You've kind of changed topics, but I agree with everything you said about winning the press conference among the players. There must have been some pretty crappy coaching over there the last several years. Hey, Buck, have a good weekend. Stay warm.
You too. Thank you for the call.
Dable? Yep, that's it.
Old Dable.
Or you said dabble. Or
Dabble.
like Dabble Sweeney.
Dabble. I'll dabble. Cautious optimism is fine right now. What I don't like is, the amount of people that take it to extremes one way or the other, right? Extremism in any form is not the way to operate, whether it be, sports, politically, personality-wise, any of it. Don't operate in extremes if you can help it. But it is tough to come away, because if for no other reason, because it has been so piss poor here, to come away with some level of, okay, and this feels like a theme over the course of the last couple of months in this direction, is thank God the adults are in the room. Coach Dave McGinnis, he's the adult in the room. He'll join us coming up next. You've got one life, and it's too short for not nows, maybe laters, and tomorrows. If you're noticing issues with ED or performance, then your relationships, your confidence, and even your career may have already been affected. Online folks promise convenience and discretion, but their treatments are generic and some even unsafe. Guys, no more excuses. The Tennessee Men's Clinic is the state's first men's health-focused urology practice. Multiple urologists and providers focused solely on male performance. No unproven snake oil or peptides without solid research. Since 2014, they've pioneered men's health in Tennessee and have been testing and growing to make sure you get the best care and the safest, most effective treatments. Call 615-208-9090. 615-208-9090 right now, or book online in under 30 seconds at TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. Welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hetty B's Hot Chicken, the best hot chicken in the world. Nothing gets better than visiting with Coach Dave McGinnis on a Friday. Great way to head into the weekend. Nothing's better than Two Rivers Ford, who makes Coach Dave McGinnis's visits with us and with the entire station and Mac Talk during the season and all manner of other different things Coach Mac related. The South's most trusted Ford dealer online at tworiversford.com. Quality American-made Ford vehicles, award-winning customer service. Happy Friday, Mac.
Hey, Buck.
How we living?
Good. Got power, got heat, got electricity. A lot of the things that you need when it's sub-zero outside, so I'm fortunate.
Yeah, it sounds like people over your way in East Nashville, and really just all over Middle Tennessee, hell, Memphis, for as much of the damage that I've seen there. Mac, it's like an ice-covered tornado aftermath. I remember it from 2020, obviously, in my neighborhood. I'm stunned by the amount of damage, and I know that, and I'm sure you've witnessed this in your part of the world out east, that just the way that people have stepped up to kind of help out their neighbors. I mean, hell, Lucas is living with his friends at this point in time with, 5 dogs and 4 cats and 7 different people and 2 bathrooms and just everybody making it work as best they can.
Yeah, well, people step up, during times of need, and it reminds me, which I hate to be reminded of, is when this tornado hit, the most recent one.
Yeah.
A few years back, and everybody just coalesced and came together and over here, and they did the same thing over here again. I mean, it's pretty impressive. I mean, I tell you, we were lucky here over there in this part of East Nashville for the reason that during that tornado, so many of these big trees here, which were a lot of them, were taken down during that tornado. So there wasn't as many to come down across these power lines.
Well, glad to hear that you're doing well, and hopefully everybody else who's still experiencing difficulty will soon get right and is keeping safe and warm at this point.
I don't think it's over yet.
No.
Talking with Rhett yesterday at the press conference. Of course, he's a meteorologist, and he stays on top of all of this. He says we've got another blast coming.
Yeah, no, and so hopefully people are making the necessary precautions and as I mentioned, keeping safe. So the press conference, as you mentioned, was, of course, yesterday. We've been talking about it throughout the course of the morning. Had the opportunity to talk with Robert Saleh a little bit beforehand, before we got down there, and listen to the things that he had to say about his plan, about the things that stuck out to him about this job. Mac, I want to ask you about the way that you think players responded to him yesterday. I said this, and maybe I'm overblowing it, but I've never seen that many players, guys who are not even technically on the roster. There's a handful of dudes that are free agents who were sitting in the back of that room on the third floor of Ascension St. Thomas Sports Park yesterday, just taking that in as if it was a team meeting. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I thought that was pretty notable to see just how much of a showing of support the head coach got initially, and the fact that guys like Jeffrey Simmons and Cam Ward, who is here rehabbing, obviously, so he's in the building to some extent, but the fact that they would show up and bring so many of their teammates with them to hear their head coach speak for the first time, and many of them meet him for the first time, I think that speaks to how much they are looking for a leader to believe in here.
Well, I think you made a good observation there. I mean, I didn't talk to any of the players. I don't, I stay out of their business with that. I leave that to you guys. But to me, just the number of them that showed up, and I agree with you. To me, it's, look, players want to be led, and especially if you haven't had success. I mean, these guys have got a very, very short time, relatively speaking, as to how their career can go, and they just want something to grab onto. And look, there wasn't a whole lot of fluff in that press conference. I mean, you could tell right away there's an alpha up front, and he's got an idea, and plus he's got scars on him, from the Jets, but he's learned from it. I mean, I was very impressed with him. I was just, to me, I thought it was handled very, very well by the Titans. I think that you guys in the press were given a lot of access to him, other than just what the public saw, which I think is very, very important. But to me, I was impressed with the fact that, I mean, he's learned during his time, and when you learn from things that sometimes aren't so great going on in your career, that's a really, really good sign.
The other part of that, and this was an observation made to me by somebody much smarter than me, which is not hard. I mean, there's many people who are much smarter than me, but it's something that I've kind of picked up on in the last couple of weeks, watching some interviews with players, not just on this team, but on other teams, just kind of like what they look for in head coaches. And I'm not going to say, to a man almost, but I hear a pretty common refrain about whether you're on the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball as a player, that people tend to like defensive-minded head coaches because of the mentality, the way that they approach things, the attacking nature of that. Not to say that offensive-minded coaches don't have that. I think Ben Johnson is very much that as an offensive-minded head coach. So they exist. But just why that tends to be more of a theme on the defensive side of the ball than it does on the offensive side of the ball. Again, maybe I'm reading too much into it.
Yeah, but I don't think it's an offense-defense thing. I think it's a personality thing. But the one thing that is important, I mean, you're looking for a head football coach, and that's what you're looking for. Now, you're going to come into this thing when you get a chance to interview for these because you've had success on one side of the ball or the other, or you've been a former head coach. But I think it's the person. You cannot fool players. You can't fool players. And I don't think Robert Saleh was trying to win a press conference. He was talking to his team,
yeah.
And that is what is important. He had no other. You could tell he had no other agenda other than to say, here is how it's going to be. Here is what we're going to do, and here is how I'm going to help you.
Coach Dave McGinnis with us, presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer, online at tworiversford.com. A great way to navigate the icy conditions. I don't think I would have been lost in the frozen desert if not for my Two Rivers Ford. Mac, speaking of weather conditions, and it's not the only reason why the Senior Bowl was a little more lightly attended this year. Obviously, you did not make it down to Mobile, and the nature of the press conference and all these different things, I'm sure, had an impact. It sounded like guys, just based on the college season schedule for some, the weather conditions for others, and just kind of the weirdness or the drawn-out nature of the head coaching hiring cycle, feels like it's a little lighter in Mobile this year. Is this the first Senior Bowl you've missed in a while?
First one.
Ever.
First one, but I wanted to be here for this press conference. I had stayed in direct touch with it. And here's the other thing now. Nowadays they televise it, as you well know.
Yeah.
And plus, I mean, you get so much more information immediately from there. But yes, I mean, as soon as this storm hit, and then as soon as everything was pushed back with his press conference, I mean, I knew that we weren't going to. I wasn't going to make it down there because I wanted to be here for the press conference, and there's other ways I can get that information.
Well, and I think that's because obviously it's not just you. Mike Borgonzi is not at the Senior Bowl, something that I know he very much enjoys, and guys who they have a contingent obviously down there. Every team does, but it may not be the full brass as it could be in some years. Just how much easier the flow of information has gotten in the last couple of years. And again, they've changed the executive director. It's Drew Fabianich, I believe is how you pronounce his name, from Jim Nagy.
Yeah, I mean, long time Dallas scout, Drew is.
Yeah. So just how much easier the flow of information has become for NFL organizations in the same way that it has for you to be able to get some of this stuff without actually having your 2 feet on the ground in Mobile.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's just a fact. In today's world, it's just a fact.
Well, Mac, we appreciate your visit as always. Stay safe and warm out there, and I'll look forward to seeing you again here. I guess when's the next time I'm going to see you, Mac?
Well, I don't know, Buck. I mean, I'm not sure we've got anything planned for a while. But
well, maybe I meet you at the bar at Craig's one time. Maybe we get together at some point this offseason.
Yeah, that was a happenstance meeting there. I like that place, by the way.
It's a good spot. Well, bring a little Los Angeles to Nashville for Coach Mac. Thank you, Mac. I appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
See you. Thanks, Buck.
Love you, Mac.
That's the main man.
Love you, Bert.
That's my dude.
Coach Dave McGinnis of Titans Radio. What do you feel? You feel vindicated?
I feel good. What do you mean? It's hard not to feel good if Mac loves you back.
You think if I said it, he'd say it back to me?
Yes, I think.
I know he would.
Yes, he would say it back to you. He probably wouldn't mean it, but he would definitely say it back to you. You should have invited him to Mother's tonight.
Can you imagine?
Yes.
This is why I need you to go to the Combine with me, as I lobby the corporate overlords about forcing Lucas to go to the Combine. And really, I mean, honestly, I think you would just go for the sake of going. It would be like Disney World for you.
Don't tell them this, but I would pay my own way.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell them that.
Don't tell them that, please.
I'm not going to tell them that, because then inevitably it'll come down to me paying your way.
Hey, can you give me an Uber? It's like, we're staying at the same spot, you dumbass.
But that Mac in those kind of environments, I mean, and Mac in any environment, he runs the show. But very few people command a room at the combine the way that Kirby does. I will grant you that. Kirby berating, what was the Eagles offensive coordinator name at the time? I can't remember. Tim something?
Oh, Lord. If you wouldn't.
It was, Lucas was there, so it had to have been like 2022. I think heading into the 2022 season.
You're just berating him?
Oh, well, just telling him all kind of war stories. He's a Cowboys fan,
Mike
Kirby.
Groh?
No, who was after Mike Groh?
Shane Steichen?
Who was after Steichen?
Brian Johnson?
Brian Johnson. It was Brian Johnson. Because it was the entire Titans coaching staff. It was like Shane Bowen and Tim Kelly and a couple of other assistants and things like that. We're all crowded into this bar. Kirby literally holding court. Rossini, Diana comes up to me and asks, who is that old man that's sitting here? She's trying to talk to Brian Johnson about like actual reporter things, do her job, get information. Meanwhile, Kirby is holding 3 different coaching staffs hostage and then berating the Eagles offensive coordinator because he's a Cowboys fan.
Kirby is like your uncle that you're like, God, I hope he doesn't come to my Friendsgiving. God, I hope he doesn't say something in front of my.
Well, it's that one. It's not that I don't want him at his.
Not that you
events.
don't want him there. 100%.
It's that I am terrified that Kirby is going to say something that I will have to address with a portion of the population at a later date. Which is why we enjoy putting a microphone in front of his face. You may have just started or may not have been working here yet. Do you remember that day he just wandered into the old studio? And for some reason, we were talking about John Cena apologizing to the Republic of China in Mandarin.
Jinqui. Yes, I remember that.
And Kirby just
Kirby
loses his ever-loving mind on Cena. Which is not a problematic. I understood Kirby's position, but I also understood Cena's position where there are hundreds of millions of dollars on the line in revenue. And, I might also compromise some things for that kind of a payday. But anyway.
Well, they're compromising it this weekend. Are you going to watch the Royal Rumble at noon tomorrow, live from Rodeo?
No. But what I am going to watch is I'm going to watch UFC. I'm gonna dabble. It's something that I probably should have been doing for a while now because UFC is hugely popular, and I know there's a giant chunk of the audience that would like for us to talk about the fight game a little more on a regular basis. But, I think I'm going to take in the UFC fight tomorrow.
I was about to ask you the card and then realize that you would have no clue who any of these
no, I have no concept of what's happening other than it's human cockfighting.
Strickland's fighting. Strickland's he's part of the undercard. But, I mean, this is a good Max Holloway. There's some good fights this weekend. Oh, Adesanya.
I know Max Holloway, and I know it's Israel Adesanya, right? Is that
correct?
Right?
Oh, no, okay. I'm looking. I thought these were the fights on the card. I was like, these all look like main event fights, and it's just all their upcoming fights.
Whoa! Breaking NFL news! NFL news! Breaking NFL news!
We'll talk about it next. Just kidding. Holy crap!
Per Tom Pelissero, the Vikings just fired their general manager, Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah. So somebody's taking the fall for the Sam Darnold thing, and it ain't going to be Kevin O'Connell. What an insane hiring and firing cycle this season has been. The Senior Bowl is ongoing. The Shrine Bowl just concluded. We are in the very thick of the pre-draft process, and the Vikings just canned their GM.
That's nuts. I didn't think he was doing a poor job.
If you look at his draft record, it's brutal. It's not good. They have been free agent stop-gapping their way through a lot of these situations for a couple of years now. Damn. That's a crazy story. All right, well, we can talk about that coming up next.
Well, we have Friday Fire next.
Oh. How do you want to do this? Because I had something planned for Friday Fire.
We'll figure it out next.
All right, very good. Whoa. So normally we would do Friday Fire here. We're going to push it to 12:45 because the Vikings, what the hell is this NFL? This month has been the longest month. People make jokes about it being January 54th or something like that, just for as long as the month of January feels. The NFL news cycle has been exhausting.
This is the drunkest offseason since, sorry to cut you off, since
No, it's fine.
Russell Wilson. The Russell Wilson from Seattle to Denver offseason, which was nuts.
And this, that now pales in comparison to what the hell, just even the drawn out nature of all of this stuff. The Vikings just fired their GM while he's at the Senior Bowl. Okay? Pelissero first on the report. And now people are citing an interview that he gave literally yesterday in Mobile, where he's being asked about Sam Darnold, who is playing for a Super Bowl for a different team, where famously Sam Darnold was a Vikings player that they let move on. Seattle gave him a 3-year deal. They went with J.J. McCarthy. That didn't end well. They finished third place in their division. So he was asked about Darnold and why he let Darnold walk in free agency last offseason. Have you read this quote?
I've seen it. I have not read it.
You spend a lot of those nights, obviously. You're up in these decisions, and they're uncertain. You're trying to make sure you don't lock yourself into what you did and thinking that it's always right. Still understand why we did what we did. The results maybe didn't play out the way that we wanted them to, but ultimately, I think at the end of the day, we could have executed in certain places. So there are nights you wake up and stare at the ceiling and ask yourself, I always go back to the process and what we thought at the time. It's easier to go and kind of be revisionist and results-based. They went 9-8 this year, so they weren't a disaster, but obviously they felt like they were kind of in a window. And, Sam Darnold was not a situation that they, in retrospect, he's right, should have moved on from because J.J. McCarthy was both not healthy and not good this year. They've made the playoffs twice under him in the 4 years that he's been the general manager. He just got an extension at the end of last season. So Jordan Schultz, as Robert said, citing issues with people, relationships in the building, which, it happens, especially if you're going to be the one that they pin the Sam Darnold thing on. But what's the plan? Just like with the Bills firing McDermott when they did, off vibes. By the way, did you see the Pagula quote? Where he basically told Joe Brady in the interview, I think you sound like the next Bills head coach. And the GM has to back old man Terry off and be like, I got to talk to his agent first. Don't say that.
Brandon Beane's
What's wrong with you?
Calm down there, old Pagula.
Give him a pudding pop or something.
Yeah, it's like, hold on. They have tapioca in the cafeteria. Why don't you
tapioca?
Scurry on down there.
Why was tapioca ever a thing? Nobody wants the little lumpy nodes in your pudding. Maybe they do. I don't know. Tapioca's disgusting. It's so late in the process. Now, listen, everything from an infrastructure standpoint stays the same way. People are shocked to learn that there are so many people that are still scouts and staffers from the John Robinson regime working for the Titans. Like, a lot of times, these things don't turn over the way that you think they do. So, for all intents and purposes, the draft process is not done, but you have most of the legwork done by your scouts.
So I will note this. Last year in June, when after Mensah had received his extension with the Vikings, they promoted Ryan Grigson and Demetrius Washington both to assistant general manager. Now, I don't know if that entails one of them being, two.
Ryan Grigson?
Ryan Grigson.
The guy who basically cost Andrew Luck his career?
They were both promoted to assistant general manager. I wonder if they think that they have an in-house candidate to scurry into this position, but you're still prone to Roni. You're still prone to Rooney rules.
No, I like the Roni rule better.
Wait, you saw that I was very, very ticked off at your buddy Jason Fitz for the incredible tweet that he put out that every team should have to also subject themselves to a loony rule hire. Who would be the looniest rule?
Jason Garrett.
Brett Favre. Brett Favre would be the Brett Favre being the next general manager of the
Oh,
Vikings.
you mean GM?
Yes, who would be the loony rule?
I don't know. Ryan Grigson. Go ask a Colts fan how they feel about Ryan Grigson.
Right.
You're in great hands, Vikings fans. Whoop. Two NFL teams still don't have a head coach, and Minnesota's just like, bleep it. God. 615-737-1045 is the number. How much better do Titans fans feel about, like, you know, what you thought your situation was? And listen, Amy is not perfect by any stretch of the imagination. She's not the worst owner to ever walk the earth either. Like, there are extremes all over the place. There's a lot of people running teams that make bad decisions. Titans fans probably feeling somewhat vindicated, be like, look at Buffalo. They just have a unicorn at quarterback covering up all their dumb. How do we get one of those? Vikings, man. Oh, Rand Carthon redemption arc, people are saying in the chat.
Well, I mean, he seems to like his TV job. I don't know.
He's well suited from a personality standpoint to do media.
Yeah, he does a good job for them. Another note on Dimitri.
Although that Jameer Gibbs thing that he had a little while ago, I'm like,
okay.
I don't know, buddy. That's like a Bill Polian. We had a first-round grade on Tom Brady type deal.
He was leaning into his Dan Orlovsky stuff there. I'm just saying things to say things. Demetrius Martin, the other assistant general manager. So he's entering his fourth season with the Minnesota Vikings. His first as assistant general manager was this previous season. Washington spent his first 3 seasons with the team as the vice president of football operations. They would be able to circumvent the Rooney Rule if they would like to promote Demetrius Washington. So maybe that's part of the plan. I wouldn't say the Vikings are ones to do stupid, boneheaded things. I thought generally, as an organization,
I wouldn't have said that about the Bills either.
Right. So who knows?
We don't know.
We hopefully would get some more information about this before the combine. Like, hey, let's do a
The combine's in a month.
You guys bored? You guys want something to do? Let's do a general manager search, man.
Jesus,
if that's not exhausting enough.
Final hours next.
It is
12:01. Good afternoon from the Circus Sports at the Mint Kentucky Downs Studios. I'm Robert Walsh. Robert Saleh's introductory press conference was yesterday where he met and answered questions from the media, even had a number of Titans players there. He was asked when he learned from his failures with the Jets and what he would do differently, and had this to say.
Plays in New York, and I just kind of gave it all to the coordinators, even though we were still part of the game planning and all that. I joke with Borgo on game day when I didn't call plays. I felt like I was just a timeout and red flag guy. I was just kind of I had the greatest seat in the house as a fan. So calling plays for me, it's not necessarily about control, but it's about connecting with the players.
Saleh was also in studio with 3HL yesterday. If you missed it, you can listen to the interview wherever you get your podcasts or watch it on the 104.5 The Zone YouTube page. The Minnesota Vikings have fired general manager Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah after 4 seasons with the club. NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero reported Friday. Minnesota's decision comes as somewhat of a shock, considering the Vikings agreed to an extension with the GM in May of 2025. Less than a year later, he's out following a 9-8 season that fell far short of expectations in quarterback J.J. McCarthy's first campaign as a starter. Adolfo-Mensah departs with a 43-25 record, having put together 2 playoff rosters for the Vikings. Jesus. Both lost in the wild card round. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you've got to go to USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5.
The Zone! Idiots. How the hell do we get anything done at all? At what point? Why did you include the general manager's entire biography in your breaking sports news update? Welcome back. It's the final hour. Yes, Lucas is here. How was your soccer event? Well, I'll let you get settled. Go ahead. Do your thing. He hasn't even got his headphones plugged in yet, but he's got time to read Bert's update in real time with him. Morons, the both of you.
I just copy and pasted Tom Pelissero's.
I was going to say, there was a lot more information there than needed.
I was just like, let me get all this other crap out of here.
Somebody on YouTube says, I thought something was wrong with my radio. Yeah, I'm sure we put the greater Nashville and Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky and everywhere else the hell they can hear us.
Yeah, sorry about
at this
that.
point in time into a blender. Yes, the three of us are back together. Lucas had soccer obligations for the first 2 hours of the show. But we are here to finish strong on a Friday. One, you came in here and immediately, what's the word that you used, Robert, when most normal people would say we're dismissive of?
Poo-pooing?
Yes. You poo-pooed Robert's reaction to the Vikings firing their general manager whilst being at the Senior Bowl.
I was listening on the way back from Nashville SC's training ground. Great to catch up with BJ Callahan. 3 weeks away from the season opener, Nashville SC pushing for more trophies.
I was going to ask you about your soccer stuff afterwards.
And you guys finish out the segment, and this big, breaking news. Robert hits the breaking news sounder. I can hear him in the background of the Laser Light Show going, holy crap. And I thought, oh, my God, what just happened? Did Roger Goodell step down? Was there another coaching firing? Did the Raiders hire Phillip Rivers? And it's that the Vikings fired their general manager, which is significant news on the last day or the second to last day of January. But I would also wager that about 70% of the listening audience in Nashville could never tell you who the Vikings GM was to begin with.
Okay, but think about how crazy this offseason has to be for you to be unimpressed by that being news.
Oh, for sure. It's insane. It is. I mean, how many GM changes does that make this offseason?
Ooh, that's a good question. We've been following the head coaching ones far more closely because of the Titans situation, but I'm not sure what the answer to that question is. Shane stayed in New York. He didn't get fired.
Yeah, I mean, most of the head coaching changes did not hit the reset button with the GM head coach timeline.
Miami happened. Chris Greer happened in the season.
Yeah, but John Eric Sullivan hired in the offseason. That's one. So Atlanta as well.
Atlanta just hired their general manager, Ian Cunningham, yesterday afternoon, maybe yesterday evening. I couldn't name more than those two off the top of my head.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's the vast majority of those 10 coaching changes did not make GM changes.
So now I will ask you about your soccer adventures, which included. So what was the nature of this media availability that you attended today?
I mean, somewhat similar to what you did with Robert Saleh yesterday, just a preseason, off-the-record, sit-down, catch-up session as Nashville tries to build on its progress from 2025.
No press conference, though?
No press conference.
No food?
Oh, yes.
What kind of food?
Some sandwiches.
Is that off the record?
That part I don't believe is off the record, no.
So it was off-the-record information that I wrongly shared that Teresa Walker got a steak.
Oh.
Yeah, he was not allowed to share that, or that Teresa ate something in general. I don't think you were allowed to share anything from that meeting, even the fact that Teresa was there, or the fact that you were there.
No, I'm allowed to say I was there. How the hell else am I going to justify leaving for 2 hours of the show for a press conference that started at 2 p.m.?
Oh, please.
Like I wouldn't do that anyway.
Yeah,
I could have been at a bar.
Buck wouldn't be like, hold on, guys, I have a very important meeting.
Somebody tweeted me, you just stealing money at this point in your career? I was like, yeah, kind of. It's all a sham. We've obviously been talking at great length, Lucas, in your absence, about the Robert Saleh press conference yesterday. You were in attendance for the 2 p.m. portion of the proceedings. Did you have any grand takeaways you felt compelled to share with the audience? We talked about, for what it's worth, his addressing the amount of players that were in the room, how many players were in the room, and how abnormal that is for your standard press conference. I couldn't speak to other places, but specifically here, it's the most attended player situation for a press conference of any kind that I've seen since Brian Arakpo retired. And that's really about, we talked about basically that he's had this job circled since before Brian Callahan got fired. The first text I got about Robert Saleh being interested in the Titans job was September 29th. But beyond that,
the second phase plan for the offensive coordinator stuck out to me the most by far. Have you guys gotten to that yet today? That was, walking away from it, that was 1A in what I was thinking about after that press conference. Let's hear from Robert Saleh.
No, we're really excited about the staff that we've been able to assemble over the last week since we officially locked arms, if you will. But there's a plan. I think when you look at our staff, and obviously there's still some things that are fluid before we announce all of them to you, but we've got a tremendous mixture of experience and youth. We've got some young guys that'll be on the offensive staff that we feel are on the fast track to becoming coordinators. And like I said, for me, the succession plan comes from my seat in terms of what our plan is for each individual coach and how we develop them. You know, I've talked about it before. You know, the most cliche statement a coach can make is that it's our job to develop players. It's like, well, no kidding. Of course, that's our job, but who are the people developing the coaches who are asked to develop the players? You can have a coach in the Stone Age that's developing his player, but his player's never going to leave the Stone Age. So how are we keeping our coaches up to date, evolving, staying ahead of the game, so our players are constantly evolving and staying ahead of the game? So we have a program for that to make sure that our coaches are constantly evolving and pushing the envelope of what they're capable of, no different than we're going to ask our players to push the envelope of what they're capable of. So to go back to your original question, there's a plan in place. It'll kind of be revealed once we start showing off revealing our coaches, but it goes beyond the name of the coaches that are involved. It's going to go to the development that we expect them to have.
So a lot of coach speak in there, but the idea of having guys on the staff that they believe are on the fast track to becoming coordinators. Okay, so who do we know that's on staff that could fall under that category? He said, you'll see what the plan looks like when the staff takes shape. I see a guy in Shea Tierney that was an assistant QB coach with Josh Allen in Buffalo. I don't know if you heard this, if you were here when we talked about this yesterday, that Josh Allen once called the most underpaid employee in the Bills building when he was there with Daboll as the OC.
No, I missed that yesterday.
Shea Tierney, the QB coach with the New York Giants, and now the QB coach in Tennessee under Robert Saleh. Is that somebody he may be talking about? Could it be Luke Stalker? There has been a proof of concept of tight ends coaches taking that step, including Brian Daboll, who was a tight ends coach at New England before going to Bama and then getting on the track that has led him here.
Dan Campbell as well, Robert points out in my ear. So that is comforting. And, you know, it's a question worth asking just because of Saleh's background. Like, this is the kind of stuff that you're looking for. Okay, what did you learn? Because he danced around a lot of the what did you learn stuff from your first job, right? Like, he he didn't really feel, and I think he was trying to not take anybody out publicly and be like, I mean, you try working with Zach Wilson or something like that. Obviously, that's not something he said. But this is the thing that would reassure you about the idea of a guy who does not have an offensive play calling background running the show to make sure that there is a succession plan, a viable succession plan, a proven succession plan to a certain extent in place should Brian Dable, like Table, succeed.
It works for some. It worked for Vrabel the first time around.
It did.
Right? Not so much the second time around.
It did not.
Didn't quite work for Dan Campbell. He fired the replacement for Ben Johnson in Detroit and replaced him with Drew Petzing.
All right, go ahead and underwhelm Lucas with more Vikings GM news.
Adam Schefter reporting, after firing general manager Kwesi Odafe-Mensah, Vikings executive Rob Brzezinski will, quote, run the team's front office through the draft.
That's not the guy. No, that was like Chudzinski or something.
Chudzinski was
a couple of years ago.
Browns defensive coordinator, I believe, or offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I remember that name from Cleveland for a couple of years ago. Again, I feel like we're doing that Ted skit.
So they're not even going to conduct a search then at this point.
I mean,
it kind of seems like it's a little late in it for them to do that.
They're just kind of like, I don't know, guys. This dude was not vibing with people in a building. We just got to get him out of here. We got everybody else in place.
Okay, and for what it's worth, this Rob Brzezinski dude, he has been with Minnesota since 2014. He is currently their executive vice president of football operations. He's been in the NFL since 1993 when he started working with the Dolphins as their staff counselor and salary cap manager. So no shortage of experience. They probably feel comfortable with him going through the motions, the coaching staff assisting him and the scouts assisting him along the way. But, yeah, that did not read to me like they will have a new general manager before the off-season.
Yeah, honestly, that makes way more sense than just saying, okay, let's conduct a search. I guess you're down in Mobile, just interview people there. It's just nonsense. All right, so speaking of things that Saleh has done and not done, he has not called the defensive plays as a head coach. He was asked about that at great length, and we will talk about Robert Saleh as both DC and HC coming up next. Oh, this makes me miss the original open of the show. It's too bad about the whole Diddy thing.
Well, yeah, I have to drop it now because I didn't pick the instrumental. I was worried he was going to say something nasty. I was like, hold on now. Hey, you talking a little bit too much in this song.
That podcast, him and who does he do the podcast with, Mace? It's really funny. I see viral clips of it all the time. They are just ruthless on there. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Fueled by Hattie B's Hot Chicken. Lucas is back from soccer media availability. Nashville SC, it's crazy that they're getting ready to start their season next month, which is in 2 days from now. And it sounds like we will have some interesting participants as far as the show goes for the upcoming World Cup, which I know everybody's looking forward to. Nashville, not a host city. I'm kind of glad we're not a host city, actually. The more that I think about it, it would be sick. But, like, realistically, you would have to call in a career's worth of favors to get tickets to this thing.
Oh, sure. Oh, yeah. But I just love the idea of Broadway being taken over by hordes of Norwegian or Nigerian fans. I think it would be awesome.
Maybe, right? Yeah, it's going to be a lot of drunk people out in the streets. Going to be a lot of tourists on Broadway. Not sure what the hell is going on. But I'm sure that we will see celebrations around the city for USA games.
Oh, it'll be a great time. Nashville is hosting the Japanese national team. This will serve as Japan's home base for the World Cup.
I did see that. So we are not going to have World Cup discussion here yet, though we will at some point this summer. We will continue to talk about Robert Saleh's press conference. Now, he was on 3HL. I want to make sure that I mentioned that because you can check that full interview out on YouTube. I'm sure Slade did a great job with the Boom Boom Room. The three of us have not yet had an opportunity to hear Robert Saleh's visit with 3HL, though I'm sure they did a great job, as they always do. But you can check it out via their podcast and also the 104.5 The Zone YouTube channel, where many things are posted exclusively for your viewing enjoyment. One of the things that was brought up in the press conference yesterday, understandably so, is Saleh's interest in calling plays on defense. Robert, can I hear the clip of him? Well, I'm not sure if this one was bolded, so I may put you in a bad spot, but he's talking about being the red flag and timeout coach. Do you have that one handy at your convenience? Because I do think that's interesting. I apologize if I did not prepare you for that.
I don't know if we have time, man.
Let's start us off with some big ones.
There's little things. I don't want to get in great detail on all that stuff, just for sake of just individuality and all that. But just one thing, and it's such a small thing. I didn't call plays in New York, and I just kind of gave it all to the coordinators, even though we were still part of the game planning and all that. I joke with Borgo on game day when I didn't call plays. I felt like I was just a timeout and red flag guy. I was just kind of I had the greatest seat in the house as a fan. So calling plays for me, it's not necessarily about control, but it's about connecting with the players. When you are a play caller and you are calling plays, you feel the strain that you're putting on them with each call. You're feeling the connection. You're feeling what each one is going through. And again, like I said, I can feel the weight of the play call on individual players in those moments. And to be able to call plays and maintain that connection, maintain that feel for what the players are going through, I think is very, very important from my seat. And this is one of the many things that'll change throughout my tenure.
So he felt like the red flag and timeout guy. And you remember what Zach Rosenblatt said of The Athletic when he visited us. He's the Jets beat reporter, who also, by the way, had a sit-down with Saleh after, or an exclusive with Saleh that went up on The Athletic yesterday. I haven't had time to read it, about basically from the Jets standpoint, because did you see how many Jets fans on social media got a hold of all things Robert Saleh yesterday and just ripped it apart? I'm telling you, the comments on TikTok and Twitter and Instagram, Jets fans, not fans of Robert Saleh.
I did think they made one good point that I wanted you guys to react to.
Which is?
He noted, I felt like the challenge, red flag, and timeout guy, but you could have changed that. You could have at any point said, I'm going to call plays. You were there for 4 years. That would be my question, is why did you not do that?
It's a fair question. If I had to assume, and I don't know what his answer would be to that, But if I had to assume, it would be because Jeff Ulbrich was doing a damn good job.
Yeah, right, that's what I was going to say. It wasn't broken.
If it ain't broke, they'll fix it, you know? In fact, that was one of the best defense. His first year when they got there, I think they were like 21st in total defense and a couple of different metrics. It wasn't the best defense in the world. They hit that 2022 draft with a bunch of star players that ended up fortifying their defense. They took a huge step. They finished no worse than 5th while he was still there actively coaching. Ironically enough, because Ulbrich ended up being the interim head coach for him, right, when he was fired in New York after 5 games. That's when the defense took a dip after Jeff Ulbrich stepped away and after Robert Saleh had been fired. So they haven't named a defensive coordinator yet under Robert Saleh, and he did expand on the idea that he would basically run the thing like a coordinator in that side session, Lucas, that I mentioned that he did with the 7 or 8 of us afterwards. That he's basically running this thing like a coordinator, that he's going to be hands-on in the installation while still making sure that he has touch points for every other part of the organization as a head coach normally would. Now, will he succeed? Because he is a good defensive coordinator. Nobody would dispute that Robert Saleh knows what he's doing on that side of the ball, and that's definitely a more animated version of him, where you can see him getting into things, into it as the San Francisco 49ers defensive coordinator. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say.
No, you go.
Okay.
No, you go, Robert.
No, I don't have anything. Buck,
Who's
go.
on first?
He said to Zach Rosenblatt yesterday, quote, "I'm grateful. I'm ready to get this thing popping to prove that where we were going was real," referencing his Jets tenure.
Well, and he did. I mentioned this, you may not have heard it, but he seemed genuinely wounded about the way that it ended with the Jets. He did not address it much in the press conference setting, but in the more relaxed setting after the fact with us, he did, I think, let a little bit more of that hurt show. He was asked, and I can't remember who asked the question, maybe Tehran, in the side session, what did you learn from your time with Matt LaFleur as an offensive assistant? Because he went and helped out on that side of the ball. And he said, and he joked, and not a shot at LaFleur or anybody. He goes, I didn't really learn much. It was more just like therapy. Like we needed something. What the way that he categorized it was, we needed something to root for as a family. So it was therapeutic for us to root for the Green Bay Packers after the hurt as a family of being fired by the Jets. So that sounded more like it was just like a buddy doing another buddy a favor.
Yeah.
And I think he described him and LaFleur as thick as thieves during their time together.
One was the best man at the other's wedding. I can't remember which, or maybe they both were at each other's wedding. But yeah, they clearly go back, and that's somebody the Titans talked to, according to Albert Breer, I believe.
And certainly the Jets are not in a better situation now than when Robert Saleh was there. But the thing that I mentioned, Lucas, when talking about the amount of players that were in attendance is they are counting on him to be better than he was in New York on a variety of different fronts, right? His best season, he had 2 7-10 seasons. That was as good as he did as the Jets head coach. He never made the playoffs he started his 4th season. We'll just call it 3 seasons and 5 games. Never made the playoffs in the 3 seasons, the 3 full seasons that he completed as the head coach. 7-10 here would be a coup, right? After back-to-back 3-14, so the bar is low. But a coup would also be his best record as an NFL head coach, and that is something that needs to take a substantial step forward, as well as many other things around here.
What is the biggest criticism of Saleh's time in New York? Like, what is the one thing that Jets fans hammer the table about? Table like Dable.
That he did not have the kind of control over the situation that you would like an NFL head coach to have, that he looked very much like it was his first time doing it. But think about the things that we've talked about. What exacerbated that? Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers made that so much more difficult, right? We talked with Rosenblatt a couple of weeks ago about the mandatory minicamp trip that the starting quarterback, the future Hall of Famer, would not move so he could go to Egypt because of logistics, and instead opting out of mandatory minicamp. Think about being Sauce Gardner after that. And Robert Saleh, maybe trying to hold you, a hypothetical situation, right? We don't know of anything like this specifically happened. Or Garrett Wilson. Any other player on the Jets. say you do something, maybe you half-ass it in practice, or maybe you don't show up for a voluntary thing, or you get some coaching points from Saleh on a rep. You're going to turn around and look at that guy and be like, what if I want to go to Egypt?
Yeah.
What about it, Robert? Like, what are you going to do? You can't even get the head coach, huh?
I thought you
I also feel that way about you.
I hate it.
But I think I'm the only one that you have that problem with, because I don't call you Bert.
Yeah.
I call you Robert.
Lucas calls me Robert in the form of the show. Lucas will be like, "Hey, it's me and Robert today."
Oh, when he's driving?
Yeah.
I feel like I call you Robert more than I call you Bert.
Yeah.
I just don't like Bert.
I call you by your Christian name.
Oh, yeah?
Bert, not a Christian name?
But that is a
Even over
situation
here without a middle name is calling people by his Christian name.
Yeah, come on, dude.
Like saying Robert Saleh, the biggest criticism of Robert Saleh is that he didn't really have a lot of control over the situation. Discussing a situation that involves Woody Johnson and Aaron Rodgers is hard for me. Like that's hard for me.
But even the point that Robert made about, well, if you didn't want to be the timeout and red flag guy, don't be the timeout and red flag guy, right? Like just that kind of like, no, you can do this, bud.
Yeah. Because I would have thought that the biggest criticism would have been his selection of offensive coordinator, especially at the early onset.
He got the one.
When
right?
you hire Nathaniel Hackett, as you acquire Aaron Rodgers, that doesn't exactly feel like something that the head coach, any head coach, is going to have any, I don't know, real control over.
Well,
I don't know.
Do you remember what he did after Hackett got fired?
Was it Todd Downing?
It was.
Yeah.
So that is not. So in his opportunity to change things up post Hackett, he went with Todd Downing.
Who was on? I mean, how many guys with play calling experience were on his staff? Like,
I don't know. I think Todd Downing enough of a known commodity at this point that you might just be like, let me try something else, maybe. I don't know.
I feel like that was another one of the Jets fans' biggest criticisms with him is when he said, I was the timeout and red flag guy. Well, you were very poor as the timeout and red flag guy.
Well, that is also the Jets fans' criticism. They're like, well, you sucked at the challenges and the timeouts.
The in-game management was poor. So I wonder if he would maybe have someone on the leadership committee help delegate some of those things too, or at least be like the voice in his ear, the Grimmel worm tongue to him.
If I'm Rob Ryder, who is Brian Callahan, the guy on that, I'm kind of pulling at my collar a little bit and being like, oh, I don't have the best resume as far as that goes this past year.
Well, Titans will host the Jets in 2026.
Oh, God, really?
Yep. That's one of the home opponents. They'll play both New York teams. So both Saleh and Dable get their opportunity at revenge. They go to New York to play the Giants, and they host the Jets.
James says, why are we listening to Jets fans? Serious question. I don't know. The same people that don't want to listen to Jets fans about the head coach that you like were just all about what Chiefs fans were saying about Matt Nagy. So, I don't know. You're cherry picking.
Well, and the same thing with when the Patriots hired Mike Vrabel. Like, I'm sure Titans fans had a lot of things to say about who Mike Vrabel was. Like six wins over the 3 seasons or whatever the
sure.
The stat
why
was.
should anybody listen to you about Mike Vrabel by that logic?
Yeah, people. I was on Titans Talk Back that season. People wanted Vrabel fired for like the last 10 weeks of that season.
It's just it's a loser argument. Why are we listening to Jets fans? I don't know, because they just lived your entire experience that you're getting ready to go through. You're hoping that it's a better version of it.
Well, and even if you're going to take it with a grain of salt, like it is perspective and context to situations. Like instead of just being like, why don't we like him? Oh, that guy sucks. Like at least you have some perspective of why they didn't like him.
Bibbidi Bobbidi on the FNM Bank chat asks, did anyone ask Saleh if he knows what a knee equals?
2 feet, famously.
What about an elbow? Wasn't that the thing with Alec? Wasn't it an elbow?
An elbow equals 2 feet?
Yes.
Yeah, and that what Callahan said it does not.
Yeah, he didn't really yell at Terry McCormick in that post-game press
Not much of a
conference in
yeller.
Denver.
I know the rules.
He definitely got a little snippy, right? By the way, I felt bad for him. He was apparently getting ready to board a flight to Tampa when Tampa gave James Robinson that job for his second interview as their offensive coordinator. That's a tough one. Brian Callahan not with a landing spot right now. I'm sure he'll end up on a staff somewhere. He knows too many people in the NFL to not be operating in some capacity. He's not John Robinson, scourge of the league.
From Ari Myrov, Patriots quarterback Drake May did not practice today due to an illness and a right shoulder injury.
I mean, we still got a week.
Still got a week.
This is kind of like the Sam Darnold oblique thing.
Yeah.
I remember it popped up, and it's like, oh, he isn't practicing, and they still beat the holy hell out of the Rams.
No, but you have
on
to
his
understand,
back.
Lucas is a Titans fan who is actively praying on Mike Vrabel's downfall.
No, I'd like Josh Dobbs to get a ring.
Oh, yeah.
Dobbs
See, that's-
deserves
You
one.
didn't have any problem with Vrabel taking Barnett out at the... Not Barnett. Which former Vol?
Oh, Daryl Taylor.
Daryl Taylor.
Yeah, got released very quickly.
Oh, God, that audio. Hold on, let me find that audio.
Not a fit.
It's such a good...
Yeah, this was Mike Vrabel after Daryl Taylor had been released, but that news had not yet hit the wire.
How has Daryl Taylor gotten acclimated so far? Yeah, we released Daryl Taylor. We'll put that out here at 4 o'clock, so not very well.
How has he acclimated? That's a good answer.
Remember when he was here for Seattle Seahawks joint training camp and was just fighting everyone?
Yeah.
Anyone. Like, I'm pretty sure he beat the holy hell out of Joseph Bonanno at the Gatorade cooler.
It's like, oh.
Anybody that was around him, he was just like Ricky Bobby in Talladega Nights, like the tornado, just swinging his fists in a violent cyclone.
And, man, he was a productive player the first couple years in Seattle.
He was.
Wasn't he a second-round pick? He's a high draft pick.
Second-round pick, had a 9.5 sack season in his second year in the league. Went down to 5.5 sacks. Didn't really deal with a lot of availability issues until he got to Chicago in 2024, and then just bounced around to Houston, to New England, and now without a team.
Okay, so not to pivot back into Vrabel talk, because I know Titans fans are tired of that, but this is Saleh related and Callahan related, right? What was the biggest drop-off among them? There were several. Biggest drop-off from Mike Vrabel to Brian Callahan.
I'd say you just didn't know who they were.
That's fair.
For better or for worse, you knew what they were, what they wanted to be under Vrabel.
Yes. I would also submit to you that situational awareness and in-game management, because not just Vrabel, right? Stretch. They didn't have a Stretch in the post-Vrabel era. Stretch is good enough to work with Sean McVay that year that Vrabel took off and immediately landed back in New England with Mike. And he's one of the smartest people anywhere in the NFL as far as in-game management, knowing the rule book. He's the one, Ben Jones and Brett Kern have talked about this. He's the one who runs the Friday meeting about various circumstances in games to pay attention to.
Yeah, huge drop-off in game management situations.
So, Robert Saleh has, among the criticisms from Jets fans, not been great in those situations. That is the other thing that you have to keep an eye on, because that would be one of the biggest criticisms of firing a guy like Vrabel. Well, you can't find a coach to do that anywhere, right? He just outdid Sean Payton, who's one of the better ones in a variety of different situations. How are you may not be able to replace it. You may not ever be as good in those situations again, because that's probably his superpower as a coach, right? He's not a defensive coordinator wizard.
Vrabel, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, no, that's his,
Mike's superpower.
His calling card.
And it was so much worse under Callahan that juxtaposition was glaring. So now Saleh has to not just be not as bad as Brian Callahan, but he has to be better than he was as the Jets head coach, especially if he's going to kind of, say tongue-in-cheek, well, I was just the timeout and red flag guy. But you didn't do a great job as the timeout and red flag guy. 615-737-1045 is the number if you would like to participate in the show. So we're going to break a little early in this last segment because we pushed Friday Fire off for the Vikings general manager news. Do we have things to give away?
We do. More tickets to go see the Black Crowes.
All right. So if you would like to go to the Black Crowes concert, 615-737-1045, we will end the show with Friday Fire. What was your moment of positivity from this week? Could be just the Robert Saleh press conference or something from. Give me more specific if you're going to cite Saleh's press conference as your Friday Fire, but just something good that happened to you this week, personally, professionally, sports, otherwise. We'll give you ours. I'm Buck Rising. It's 104.5 The Zone. for the opportunity. Make sure you're listening and don't just call Robert saying, I'm here for the tickets. Mouth breathers. 615-737-1045 for the opportunity to win Black Crowes tickets. You have to earn them. Give us your Friday fire. What happened to you? What happened to you that was good this week? Personally, professionally, sports, otherwise. Real easy. Not that high-level stuff. I'm going to let Robert and Lucas go first because we are going to attempt to call my grandmother on her 90th birthday. That is my Friday fire. Lucas, the floor is yours.
Ryan Leaf is my Friday fire. As everybody was fuming, had steam coming out of their ears about Bill Belichick not being a first ballot Pro Football Hall of Famer, Ryan Leaf, in the midst of the chaos and the controversy, took to social media and tweeted, I'll be transparent. I am one of the Hall of Fame voters who did not vote for Coach Belichick. It has come time that if you are able to penetrate the walls of the voting ilk, yours or anyone's resentments can be fueled with revenge. Tom ain't getting in either. Lose to Foles? No way, no how.
That's so good.
And the amount of people that thought that Ryan Leaf was A, serious, and B, actually a Pro Football Hall of Fame voter was phenomenal. An excellent use of sarcasm by Ryan Leaf.
Well done.
I got to go with my mammy. My mom is officially, as of today, 1 year cigarette-free.
Hey!
Good for my mammy.
Good job, mammy.
Keep saving that money. I need some inheritance. She sends me an update like once every couple weeks, like, this is how many days you've added to your life. This is how much money you've saved by not smoking.
Is that inspiring you?
No, I saw you harassing one of the engineers for a cigarette yesterday.
I'm not buying them.
How many hours has it been for you?
I think I had a pack of cigs on Monday. Was it Monday? No, Tuesday. Tuesday I had it because I bought them for over the weekend when Cheyenne was gone. But, I mean, I've been doing pretty good not smoking. I was smoking like a pack a day. And now I can just go and just do Zins. I go get my nicotine from another source.
Baby steps.
All right, we're going to try this on air. We're going to try and surprise my grandma.
All right, let me dial her. Hold on.
All right.
Is she a cusser?
No.
What the hell do you want?
No, very much not. She, I mean, we've done this with my mom before. It's about the same tone, less sarcastic. But it is her 90th, and I have not yet called her, so I would like to try and do
When's
this.
the last time you called her?
Oh, I'm skipping out on her birthday trip to Puerto Rico. She wants to go ziplining, which I'm taking them to the airport.
All right, everybody, game face.
Is it ringing?
Game face.
All right, we're going to sing. Sing, too, right? Yeah?
Sure.
I can't hear the ring for what
Oh,
it's
well,
worth.
no. It went to voicemail.
Oh, okay.
Straight to voicemail.
I thought we were gonna leave a message.
I tried. I tried to patch it through, and it was like, no way.
I don't know if we have that technology.
Okay.
I tried to put it through, and it wouldn't let me do it.
Either way.
I think they have to pick up to get them actually on the line.
Oh, your granny didn't even want to talk to you, dude. She's living it up.
Well, yeah, but we're calling her. She probably thinks it's spam.
It's a 629 number.
Yeah. Also, what are we doing with the 629?
It's Nashville's like second area code.
All right. Either way, happy 90th, Grant.
Happy, we love you, Gran. You can
love
clip this. Have Ross clip this and send it to her.
Ross. 615-737-1045. It's a good bit when it works. When it doesn't, it just kind of falls flat. Jeff is in Kingston Springs.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. Enjoy listening to the show.
Thank you.
My Friday fire is I'm about to finish up my 9th year as a real estate photographer, and at age 70, I recently photographed my 7,000th home. Nice
Whoa.
round number.
Wow,
Well done,
congratulations.
Jeff. Congratulations. Remember to stay on hold for the opportunity to win those tickets. Good submission by Jeff. A very impressive career. 7,000 homes. Let's go with Zach in Lebanon.
Hey, yeah, so mine is that I'm stopping to pick up tacos after I was finally able to get an early shift in at work. So I'm going to have tacos and a big old bottle of tequila waiting at the house for me.
There we go.
Where are you getting your tacos from?
What kind of tequila?
Getting the mini tacos from Jack in the Box.
Oh, God.
Hey, let it. You do you, Zach.
Jesus.
The tequila is like a $10 bottle too. So
Respect. That's a good Friday night.
Balling on a budget.
Yeah, it sounds like a terrible Saturday.
Hey, no, don't yuck his yum.
You stop that.
If he wants Jack in the Box tacos and $10 tequila to enjoy his Friday night, let him do it.
Jesus.
Sounds like a good damn time.
We're about to put you back in the box if you don't stop talking about it like that about Jack or Zach.
Eric.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing? My thing that happened this week is I was a fan of a team that was borderline laughing stock in the NFL, and all of a sudden in a week's time, we look pretty smart.
Compared to a lot of other teams in the league, hell yeah.
Yeah, we look pretty smart now. So that's an awesome thing to happen.
It's little victories by attrition, if nothing else. Thank you, Eric, for the call. One more, Jeremiah in Smyrna.
How are you doing, guys?
Great.
My Friday fire is I'm still riding the high of this past weekend. I was able to get into Belmead, help get some families out into hotels, get some fireplaces lit. So it was a pretty good weekend. Very productive for me.
Well done.
Fantastic.
And maybe we want to note another Friday fire. The Preds are doing something.
Oh, yeah. Let me pull it up on Instagram really quick. They are opening Bridgestone Arena right now. Give me just one moment and I'll pull it up. I want to give people the exact time. But basically, they are inviting people to Bridgestone Arena between now and 4:30 p.m. For the opportunity to, if you need to, charge your phones or get a hot meal or just, be in from out of the cold with so many people dealing with the continued issues. You, Lucas, are still
stranded
out on the street at this point in time. So this is from the Nashville Predators on Instagram, also Bridgestone Arena's account on Instagram. I'm sure they put it out on the other social channels. In light of recent weather events, we are opening Bridgestone Arena today, 11:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. as a gathering place to charge devices, refill water, and to enjoy a hot meal courtesy of the Nashville Predators and Delaware North. We hope this can be a helpful and fun outlet for our community following a difficult week. So well done by the Preds.
Well done, Nashville Predators.
So who do we want to go here? Jeremiah helping some people get their fires started in their fireplaces, helping people out impacted by the storm. Zach, who getting some Jack in the Box tacos and some tequila to enjoy his long week. And Jeff, who sold the 1,000 houses, 7,000 houses?
No, not sold, photographed. He's a real estate photographer.
Oh, there you go.
Big milestone. My gut wants to go with Zach, but it needs to be Jeremiah for helping people.
I'll be honest, I kind of do too, if for no other reason than I feel bad for the guy who's celebrating a Friday with the tacos from Jack in the Box and $10
Don't
tequila.
do that. Did you see how happy he sounded? Don't do that.
$10 tequila will help anybody once you get half that bottle down.
Mm-hmm.
It will not matter what you're eating.
I don't think that's true.
Jeremiah is doing good work and helping folks stay warm.
Well done. So, Zach, we hope you enjoy your tacos. Jeff, well done by you on an incredible career. Jeremiah, we appreciate your good work. Robert will be in touch.
By the way, in my zoo that I'm currently living in with 5 humans and 7 pets, the cats there's some political power struggles going on.
How many cats, remind us?
There are 4 cats.
Jesus.
My Leo and Jay and Bree have 3 cats, same number as you. And I brought a little litter box for Leo to kind of stay up in my room with me because their 3 cats have the giant Death Star-looking machine litter box, the
thing
robot.
that any responsible cat owner should have.
And it's downstairs. Jay and Bree's cats at first had some beef and started coming into my room that I'm staying in and shoveling all of Leo's litter out of his litter box. Then they started using his litter box in retaliation, I assume. The thing is, Jay and Bree's cats are very shy. Leo is too dumb to be like... aware of his surroundings.
He's not dumb. He's just a happy boy.
Yeah, he just likes company. He likes dogs. He doesn't care. Their cats are a little more like, okay, what's going on here? So now the roles have reversed where their cats were using his tiny little makeshift litter box upstairs, and Leo was the only one going downstairs because he wasn't afraid of the dogs to use the robot litter box. So they've switched the litter boxes that they've used.
Not so dumb now.
And Leo is just roaming the house, and basically, I think he thinks we live there now. And they're starting to become friends.
You might have to leave him there. How would you feel about that? You're about to leave him for the weekend, right?
I am. I'm out of town this weekend. He's having a great time. He loves the company. He's going to be sad to go back to a home with no other cats to hang out with.
You're going to Miami.
Yes.
You bought that chain specifically for Miami?
Christmas gift from Megan. I wear what she tells me to.
You look very dapper.
What's the pit bull? What else does pit bull have? What's the full pit bull fit?
A bald cap.
Oh, I have that.
What is it, FAU?
He's either FIU or FAU.
I think it's FIU.
I can't remember.
I think it's a bald cap, chain, and like
glasses. Sunglasses.
Of course, the glasses, and like a tan blazer and maybe white shirt.
Mr. Worldwide. All right, very good. Did I do polls? I think I did some polls. Let's do quick. Oh, yeah.
Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. What was the best part of Robert Saleh's press conference? Sharon says acknowledging Amy and his emphasis on people, relationships, and authenticity. Jack says, quote, fast, violent, and talking bleep.
Worth noting she was there for this press conference, and he did have many complimentary things to say about the level of investment that she has made in the organization and a part of the reason why he was interested here.
Ward Season, whose actual handle on Twitter is Mayo Season, but they changed like the name that you see to Ward Season.
We see you.
Says his explanation on a succession plan for offensive coordinator.
It was a good answer.
Yes.
Faster.
What was the worst part of Robert Saleh's press conference?
You're just spending more time here if you go forward.
Jonathan said he skirted around the Jets' tenure question, but gave a better answer on 3HL, which you can go back and watch on the Zone YouTube.
Very good. Presented by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Stay warm this weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday.